Y'all know what time it is. It's about to be that time. Street Fighter League Japan Division F Episode 12 starts now. And that means fiery action as we are smack dab in the halfway point. And guess what that means? Runbacks, rematches, and every point, every match will matter. Before we get to the fun stuff and all the fights, quick introductions. My name is St. Cola, and I'm joined with the voice of Street Fighter 6 itself, Vicious, my dog. How you doing?
Man, this is actually kind of crazy. We kind of prefaced the whole thing with Division S, pretty much granting new lives to a lot of these teams because of the fact that it is the halfway mark, right? This is going to be week number 6 going on for Division F. What's crazy about this is, I don't think you guys understand, with all the matches going down, we got Belc Gaming going up against Crazy Raccoon, right? We got VARREL going up against CAG OSAKA. Then you have Hiroshima Team Ikaza facing off against Yogibo Reject. Yogibo, CAG, Hiroshima. They're all tied, by the way. They're in the top 3 placings with 135 points each. So it's really all up for grabs right now. It's pretty much a brand new restart for Crazy Raccoon, VARREL, and Belc Gaming. It's actually going to be kind of insane. If you're looking at the way that things have been going down between the away and the home position as it shows up on the screen, that's been kind of like borderlining more so towards the away position for a good vast majority. I feel like from the away side up until I want to say maybe last week with Division S and the way that it went down for like the restart or the halfway mark. But it's been pretty dead even afterwards. So I'm kind of curious to see like how much of these teams have kind of readjusted, how many times these teams have kind of like gone to the replays to see what needs to be done from a strategical point of view from having the home field advantage. And just in case, just a little talk about it if we haven't mentioned it already, and if it's your first time here hanging out with us over at Street Fighter League Japan, when it goes down to the rule set with the away and home team, the away team is forced to pick their players and their team order first and foremost, right? With the first game being a first to, it's going to be 2 out of 3. So first to 2, essentially, best of 3 with 10 points. The second match also being a best of 3, that's going to be worth 10 points as well. Then the big dog match, the anchor spot, that's going to be worth 20 points, but it's going to be 3 out of 5 territory. Now, if there's ever a moment where it gets a tie, there's going to be a sudden death battle, and all the points are ever so important because of this prize pool right here.
Absolutely, 8 million yen in totality, 5, 2, and 1 for first, second, and third, respectively, down the list. That's a lot, and also it will drop in quite a bit in that pot. 50K in terms of yen for individual awards. We'll go down those here in a second, but I definitely agree in terms of how intense these matches are going to be, considering what is on the line, how far we are in terms of the playoffs, how close we are, I should be saying, as only the top 3 teams will make it through. So you have to stay above that playoff line to stay fine and move on to be the best team in the division. And then the top 2 teams, or top teams, I should say, in the divisions, will fight it out to see who's going to be fighting against the US and EU later next year. That's going to be super sick. But going back to these teams and what's been going on, you mentioned the top 3 teams already being in a similar position of 135 points between top 3. Belc Gaming is something I'm also looking at. They've gotten 20 points last time we saw them with TS, and a total of 30 points. Not looking so good thus far. This is, I feel like, a make or break day for them, even more so beyond just like morale, points, everything. They really got to get things in order, but it's going to be hard. I feel like, you have Crazy Raccoon has been on the rise lately, really understanding what they should be doing in terms of their character selection. Someone like Bonchan, understanding what you should be doing with his character overall. Their strategy's gotten a lot more intense too as well. It's going to be hard to call who's going to be rising to the occasion, who's going to be falling to the wayside.
It really is. I think one of the greater things here is being able to take note how often some of these teams have done well on the away side. For Belc Gaming, they need as many W's as they can get. Surely they haven't really done the greatest on either home or away, but that had to be a big boost of confidence having TS get that W, right? So I think they'll slowly start to get it. With such a talented roster too, you have Ryusei, who has access to Bison and JP if needed. Both characters doing really well for themselves. You have Ryukichi, who's like the Ken player in Japan, who we all have our eye on. And Sakunoko, he's also pretty well versed in everything, right? He also has a Chun-Li if need be, but he also has a plethora of different characters. And I really want to just see that kind of transpire, right? We mentioned this a little bit earlier, kind of going on too, where we have a brand new kind of change, or a very welcome change of celebrating the players. We had mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we got some new awards courtesy of the lovely sponsors involved with Street Fighter League Pro-Japan this year. The awards go as follows. We have the Season MVP, Rookie of the Year, the Point Getter Award for best win rate, as well as our personal favorite, the Drive Impact Award. I don't know who's actually in the lead for that right now. It really is kind of like up in the air because everybody's trying to like get their licks in, trying to get as many Drive Impacts as possible, but there's only one way to kind of like find out, and that's tuning in for the rest of the season, or maybe they'll announce it over at Capcom_Esports, right? The land of Japan pretty much has all the stats, whereas we're just kind of like the bystanders and pretty much waiting for the entertainment as much as possible. But going into the matchup spread at hand, Belc Favo Gaming just needs all the points they can imagine, right? They need to. I think 180 points is going to be like the safe spot, perhaps, but it really depends. That's still a lot of gaming to play.
That's like feels like necessary amount of points would be like 40 bombers all the way through for them at this point to get this top spot, to keep up also with the other players in contention. You know, last time that they played, it was a 30-10, so this is the only game that they had 10 points for a long time, and it was just one simple match. It looks like Ryusei had taken down Bonchan, and it was the only 10 points that they had for the longest until TS had gotten those 20 points last time we saw them. We'll see what happens here. You know, things could change. Obviously, you know, you looked at the replays, TS giving them that morale boost, showing that they could stay in. You know, they definitely have had their beatings a little bit throughout the season, a lot of it, I guess I should say. But now they understand what's at stake. Let's take a look at our first team coming up. Belc Favo Gaming on the screen. The Pad Master TS with the Akuma, going with the Goki, but also possibly pulling out the Ken to get his win with that corner oppression and corner carry. The man's very technical. It's over when you fight the likes of Ryukichi. Don't make a single mistake. You fight against his Ken. This man is a technical master, will make every moment happen with his character, and a lot of damage too as well. The eyes of desperation always open and locked on to you. He's got the bites, he's got the JP. We haven't seen him in a while. I'd like to see him real soon here. I feel like he's a very strong addition to that team. And last but definitely not least is the strongest spear, one of the oldest in the business, but still able to put hands on any man's out here. It's Sakonoko leading the charge and definitely on point. We'll see what happens. I'm very curious about their structure of their team. I'm curious of what they're going to be doing real soon here. They know how desperate things are getting, so I'm wondering what their strategy is going to be and their character selection as well.
They're going to be facing off quite the high-end contenders. It's going to be CAG OSAKA, sorry, Crazy Raccoon coming in. I was reading off of day 5. Crazy Raccoon with 105 points. They just need a couple more W's to get themselves past the barrier into the playoff spot, which is a pretty, I want to say it's highly doable going into it. All considering Belc Favo Gaming not having the best record, Crazy Raccoon, they're looking to snipe as many points as possible with the judge, jury, and executioners, Bappa Bonchan, starting things off. And he's had a pretty solid run too. Akizakuma has been sort of nasty too. And it's the one who is loved back by fighting games, Kazunoko Senpai, with his ever impressive and adaptive Kami, followed by the Asura. It is Shuto, who's been finding himself a pretty different type of Akuma as of late too on his streams. Then one of the personal homies, we got Dogura, the Wind Devil, making that pack ever so egregious, trying to get those points. Let's see if he can lead his team along with the Devils to victory. This is quite the composition too in regards to like what they have going on for themselves. They have 2 Akumas, Kami, and a Bison. Pretty well-rounded overall. But going into it, we have ourselves the away side already settled with their player order and character selection. Sakonoko, yeah, we talked about Chun-Li prior. It is going to be the Akuma this time, followed by 2 Kens. It is a full Shoto affair with TS and Ryukichi following up after.
No Ryusei kind of makes sense, I guess. You don't want to get the Kazunoko coming through from the skies. That's like Bison's hardest matchup. So I guess it makes sense to see him on the stands. But I also understand why we see a lot more of the Kens from some of these players, especially like TS, right? You know, you don't want to have to play the mirror match for some of these players. They're very informed in the mirror match, especially like Sabanchan. We saw that in EWC. We've seen that also throughout the CPTs as well. And Shuto definitely understands that mirror match. So you want to avoid that. Ryukichi at the very end, though. Let's see how this goes. Oh, so Shuto's going up first. We talked about the mirror match. You can't avoid that all the time. Shuto says, I know this character in and out. And you mentioned his style being so different, you know, watching his streams and things like that, even watching how he plays throughout the World Warriors, and the success that he has found out there as well with the point gathering. He's a very, very, very much a demon flipping Akuma. He understands the access from the skies, the variance. Once he establishes that ground game, you know, obviously he had issues with Lashard last time we saw him, but overall his record has been pretty damn solid. Going up against Alexa Sakonoko, we haven't seen Sako have a lot of success out here in Street Fighter League with the character. Let's see what he has, if he has what it takes in the mirror match. I'm very, very curious to see the stylistic differences of both these players.
I think Sakonoko, again, he's been kind of like bouncing back and forth. I haven't really been able to watch him stream lately. Funny enough, I think his streams have been a little bit few and far between. If it was as of late, I mean, I got to check one more time. Let me see. Sakonoko. Yeah, I haven't really seen him as active, to be honest with you. I mean, he was up like maybe 3 days ago for like the World Warrior streams. Prior to that, he was doing something with like Tokyo Game Show, but it wasn't like fully fledged into like Street Fighter 6. But yeah, outside of that, he hasn't had like the best of luck even in the World Warriors, and it was, to be fair, extremely stacked.
That is one of the hardest, if not the hardest regions to have to be in. So if you're not making that top spot, that's like, it's a roulette of who's going to make it in, considering the talent that's out there. But you're right, in terms of like success with the character, he hasn't really found it. We saw him be able to cook up at a little bit at least during like Topanga, but besides that, if like we've seen the other Akumas kind of exceed, but against Sako, maybe because he hasn't been streaming, he's been like training hardcore, getting his team ready, getting himself ready too as well. So the interviews here, Sako's been saying it's been a difficult time, but we'd have fun playing to win out here. I kind of like that energy. It's hard to like be really engrossed with the game or even esports or this kind of, I guess, juncture or you know, job if you're not enjoying it. You know, you have to have some enjoyment with it. You have to have the thrill of the fight within you to really be, I guess, able to grind out so continuously and deal with the low lows that do come through.
Truly, I get that. Just looking at the overall stats right now, I was looking at Sakonoko and his overall performances, right? He had faced off, I want to say against Urio, yeah. I think it was against Urio early on. Didn't get the W there. He fought off against Moke. No, it was Mizuha, part of VARREL. Didn't have a lot of success there as well. And then he played back in week number 2, had to face off against Hibiki, where he actually got a W. He got 1 win, but didn't make it count. There have been so many different games thus far, so many weeks where he hasn't really found himself a single game winner, which is really concerning, man, for Belc Favu Gaming. They need as many points as possible. We talked about it, but Shuto off to a pretty standard start. Sakonoko taking the big risks relatively early.
ADP able to hit. Light kick toss with heavy kick right after it. Frame kill for the throw. Pressure up in the corner. One more guess. Goes to the drive rush throw. Luckily wasn't punish counter, so still alive, but another one to get it done. Sako getting throw looped continuously with the green slime. And Shuto had said it, I practice with Banchan all the time. I will confidently win against Sako. But going to do so already with the first round in his pocket.
Trying to crush on the space. Forward medium kick, a great counter poke. Speaking of counter pokes, crouch medium punch, also a great compact normal to kind of get things started, but it's low medium kick coming in from Shuto with the corner carry as well. Forward medium kick to create that space. The false sense of security is so good though. Still being within range for the throw, I love that.
Oh, quick punish. Heavy kick Tatsu for the maximum amount of corner carry out of there. Back to mid-screen. Trying to establish that forward medium kick and the fireballs right after. A lot of variance here. Nothing after that stand-like kick buffer. We've seen, you know, Banchan use that drive rush right after. We'll see if Sako's able to do something similar with that button.
Back throw now. Shuto changing up the time. Sakonoko was looking forward to that corner carry, or at least the corner positioning. It wasn't going to be enough. That standing light kick was a punish counter indeed. Man, what a bust out. Close to burnout is Shuto, and Sakonoko knows it. Yes, sir. No way.
If he would have leaked into that, man, if he would have finished the job, still could do so. Had the adamant defense, that could have been the level 3. But now it's a victory here. Finally lands after a light kick, and I just mentioned that. What's going to be leading on that light kick? We'll get more off of it. Shuto does so. And even in this match, you can definitely see a lot more reward off a crouching medium punch, stand light kick, all the buttons continuously from Shuto. Sako's had moments, but hasn't been able to capitalize so continuously.
Yeah, Shuto's been banking on forcing Sakonoko to run into some of these buffer domos a bunch of times over. And again, a big starter. Very similar to game one. Shuto already off to a very aggressive start. I'm glad he actually got a full-on combo despite missing like the punish counter forward medium kick, because you do get to link a sweep after that off the punish counter. Oh, you actually beated the hell out of him.
Reel it in. You see that after some of these knockdowns, the teleport to ODDP. I've seen Angry Bird do it. I actually see Shuto do that on the stream and puts himself on set point here. Very smart stuff. Runs the Adamant Fist raw. That distance again, using that as a counter poke against some of these normals like Suppressor. Suppressing Sako up in the corner. Now he's eating some fireballs. Allows Sako to get outside the corner for a little bit longer. Takes back the turn with his own fireball.
Oh. So deadly. It's so dangerous too. It's such a standstill. It's hard to tell what to do in the right moment. Or you can't even tell what the right moment is. But Shuto, he does find that moment with OD busts out.
Oh,
that's gotta be destroyed.
Oh, I really thought I was gonna hit, but Sako ready with the reversals. At least his reversal times have been super on point. The Wakers have been really good in terms of that sort of defense. It's just the throw loops have been too continuous that it's hard to stop. We'll stop that drive rush up with the jabs. Sweep off the feet, the fake out, looking for the reversal again from Shuto. He doesn't bite. OD fireball, something different with the OD gauge now.
Oh, that was sick. I love that. That conversion is actually so sick. There we go. Sakonoko at least on the board for that one. His second game ever, by the way.
We've known him to be an execution monster, a combo cat. And to be able to be so ready, prepared, now a lot more in that match than the previous one. Way different Sako than what we've seen even up to this point. I like the way that he's utilized this character, maximizing reward too as well, and using the OD gauge for something different. OD fireball to kind of initiate, see Shuto, kind of drive rush jab. That's going to stop that preemptively, and some of these buttons ever so often.
Oh, what a rip punish too. Too bad nothing's really coming out of some of these big conversions. There we go. Oh, he missed. Maybe he was trying to bait something from Shuto.
Yeah, we see that a lot of breaking. Hits the medium, drive rush right after it, 4 Fierce, crouch Fierce, heavy kick Tatsu, 1 more touch and burnout. But it's a one-touch scenario for Akuma. Not too bad. It lands the DP as the anti-air. He knows what Shuto's game plan is. He's been watching his streams. He's been watching Shuto develop this character, and he is ready and steady to knock him outside the sky. Set point here. Can Sako start off strong for Belc Faith Gaming? Adamant Fist. Fuck right after it. Yes, sir. Sweep. Empty throw. Calls up the tap parry. And the teleport command grab. Dead of the dead, a perfect KO. Sakonoko ties a bow on it. First game for his team in this match, and what a rebuttal. What a very dominant last 2 matches in beautiful reads, anti-airs, reversals. Sako looking way more Sako that we like to know.
Pretty trap heavy, I gotta say, towards like the end of that all. I think that was actually really, really well played and calculated. I actually haven't seen Sakonoko kind of play that style, I think, ever. That was actually really, really well spaced, well timed. I think I like the ideas that he kind of presented, and knowing that Shuto would take to the skies pretty often was a very, very big bet too. So Shuto, towards the end of it all, yeah, actually that was already coming out no matter what. Sakonoko was doing like the option select, right? If he sees a character do like a low medium kick into drive rush, you're just gonna be option selecting the uppercut regardless. So that was really, really smart from him.
Second time it's happened to Shuto, where someone will do like a in between his drive rush right after, and then DP. So here we go, Sako. 10 points on the board. TS up next. Now with the Ken. Watching a stream every so often, you see the kid appear here and there. But I wonder who gets sent up. So we send up Shoot though. I think you at this point maybe send up. Actually, I'd like to put Bonchan at the end. Maybe Kazunoko goes up here.
Bonchan against Ryukichi? Huh.
Yeah, because
I can get behind that.
Angry Bird has. Yeah, because Angry Bird complains about that matchup a lot in terms of like whenever he plays the Ken part of the Akuma and Ken matchup, he hates it. And I can see it, the fast fireballs, being able to contest against like the normal fireballs and the pokes and some of the ranges of the normals, things like that. And that walk speed, being able to walk outside the distance of like heavy kick and medium kick, I think it would be a good option. We'll see what they choose though.
Yeah, Kazunoko coming up next makes a lot of sense. I don't think TS is going to be ready for the type of style that Kazunoko plays. But at the same time, it really depends because Kazunoko is willing to kind of like test the waters a lot in the first game, which has been like his current trend. If you're looking at the way this team has played thus far, if you're looking at Crazy Raccoon, Kazunoko in a lot of these games that he's participating in, he'll lose the first game pretty often. Or he'll be reserved for like either some sort of weird anchor position or some sort of like tiebreaker position because of his speed. But I think I might even just be a liar. He's won straight up a lot of his games, like win-loss wins, sometimes straight out victories in like the anchor. Huh. He does have a lot of W's up his sleeve though. He's only lost one set so far against Tokido, and it was against Ken, so that's kind of interesting. He's already facing off against another Ken too.
And this is not the last time that they played, or the first time, sorry, that they played. Kazunoko beat him 3 straight in the anchor match last time these two teams battled it out. But I do want to say that you're not a liar. It's more of that. I do agree that Kazunoko likes to acquire the data early, and sometimes that does lead to death in like the first game or maybe first round, generally speaking, right? But that data gathering is like him like being a little more reserved, and then after that he just gets aggressive. He starts doing the dive kicks and things like that. As you mentioned, able to take down someone like Tokido, it's going to be a tall order for TS, as this is not the first time that they played. TS already gotten defeated 3-0, but that also helps TS. He's got a lot to work with, a lot to look back on and say, what do I do better? Maybe more stand light kick, maybe crushing medium punch a little bit more. When I watch Shout High and Punk play and some of these other cats play that matchup, those are like the favorited buttons. We'll see if TS is a little bit more structured. And that was TS previously. That was TS before he got that Zenkai boost. Now he's set loose out here. He's a lot more stronger than what we've seen him after that anchor position. Even he himself said, I have a lot more energy nowadays. So TS said, hey, Sako won, and I have to win here too. I couldn't play well with Akuma last time when we played Kazunoko. Let's see what happens today. So let me pull back, my bad. I thought he played Ken. Last time it was actually Akuma, my mistake.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. But seeing him go back to Ken is a pretty interesting ordeal, right? That's a development for me. I thought he was going to go with Akuma as well, because he did get his big W in day 5 with that character multiple times over. I think in day 4 he played Ken. Sorry, week 4 he played Ken. But other than that, I don't recall seeing his Ken. Yeah, even in week 1 and week 2, it's been back-to-back Akumas. So I wonder why. I wonder why he's been going back and forth.
It's strange. Even in the World Warrior, looking at the stats, just the recent one, he played only Akuma. It looks like Akuma, shout out to Incross for that data, is on like the selection for him. So, as you said, it's strange. Like you already have that energy with Akuma. Why are you pulling in the Ken? Is it ready? Is it prepared for the likes of Kazunoko, especially after Kazunoko is so well informed in that matchup? So, I'm very curious to see if this is the right selection. You know, considering I think Akuma does better than Ken, but hey, what's on paper doesn't always happen in the match. People's play styles could change things up too as well. We'll see what happens between the two in the run back with different characters in a different format. At first to 2 this time instead of a first to 3.
Here we go, already off to an aggressive start too. We're gonna say TS is pre-drained now on the drive gauge, but slowly making up for it. Kazunoko is in the corner after all, so Kazunoko, he's going to be the one to kind of like walk his way towards it, right? Let's see if he can go the distance. He does. He gets the big exposure, the normals, tapping on the door a little bit. Standing medium kick also to kind of justify the poking range too. figure it out as well. Yeah, crouching jab is so good. This guy is hitting all of the marks. TS has been caught multiple times, hands in the cookie jar. What's gonna be happening, man? You gotta get out of here, brother. There you go.
Off the low, gets a side switch. Stand fierce, trying to find its mark. TS, not a lot of gauge to play with though. Dive kick, don't hit. Perfect parry in between the string. Blue color day, corner carry at play right here with the enhanced Tatsu. Crouch fierce, toe tap.
Oh.
I'm surprised Kazunoko didn't take back his turn or punish. I mean, that was close enough. The drive impact's gonna hit. What? I wonder what happened there. The fact that the toe tap was so close, I feel like that could have been an easy punish there for Kazunoko. Now, last time we did see Kazunoko play, he did get hit with the drive impact quite a bit. Tokido.
That just goes to show you, man, he is well over the 30 and over club, man. That actually is quite depressing. But standing light kick, at least he has accuracy and also the reactions for the drive rush from further out. Kazunoko looking to redeem himself after the robbery that had occurred in the prior round. But yes, number one. Yes, sir, I like that. Fireball to set things up. You have to kind of test the waters. ODDP, the bust out's there. Desperation right now. ODDP right back at him.
Kazunoko takes the risk, finds the reward. It's round around right now. What would you say is Kazunoko? TS almost there for that level 3.
What's crazy is Kazunoko would have died if that was blocked. The fact that he went for that was kind of insane, but I love that. So does, I think so does TS. He's totally fine with that. You know what? Now that I understand how crazy you are, I get to recalculate. Damn!
Yeah, see? He backs off, is able to get the counter hit. Jin right lets the level 3 fly. And as you mentioned, he's like, okay, cool. I have the data from you. I'm starting to understand how you operate. I'll wait a little bit. And that delay was able to catch him, get the counter hit combo. One more touch, and the walk-up throw right after. Perfect KO after 68 seconds. Fantastically done. The data gathering is from TS, not Kazunoko.
We were just talking about what had transpired towards the second end of like the second round, I actually say. Cammy not going for the OD uppercut there? Like Kazunoko's not willing to do it there. No reversals or anything like that. That's actually kind of wild to see. Again, susceptible to the drive impacts. Don't give him the double. Don't give him the double right now.
Not the double-double.
Oh, you're actually going to hit him.
Double-double.
Oh, he's got it, man.
It's over. Yep.
Double perfect. TS is on a roll right now.
Talked about it. People Gaming understands what's at stake, how many points they don't have. They got to turn up by volume, and TS is doing so. DJ TS, though. Meaty stand fierce, stand light kick right after. The strings are doing ridiculous things out here. Being able to get the counter conversions, setting up for success with some of these space traps, these frame traps every so often, too, as well. Dot kick does hit, though. Stems off the pressure.
My man TS, he's got to get the award now, right? I think, you know, that's a lot of drive impacts to hit against the old man. Yeah, gonna be a punish regardless.
On the fireball, trying to hold his ground. Perfectly done for the drive route or drive distance. Crouching mid kick hits. Level 3 after the run DP. It's a victory here. TS puts another game on the board for Fable Gaming, and it's 2 up, 2 on the over Kazunoko with perfects with a double-double. No fries. All right, TS.
No, he got the fries towards the end of it. You know, he shook him down for it. The fries may not be like the biggest reward, but you know, it's something. There was some sort of animal style with that, with 3 bars, right? You know, I can't listen. As a Californian, I understand the argument. I think the fries are whack. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I always get them animal style. I think the fries are whack, but I have to alter it. You have to do it. It's automatic.
Yo, the alteration here from TS was fantastic. The timings, as you mentioned, honestly, calling out when Kazunoko hit those reversals. You see him stagger stepping, and not only did that put Kazunoko on the back foot in terms of running those reversals like he'd like to, but also getting these counter conversions too as well. These strings were fantastically done. Interruptions every so often from Kazunoko definitely helped out, but wasn't able to get like a follow-up. Stand light punch counter hit and a no crouching medium punch did not occur. And you see TS TS immediately reassessing and be able to find success right there. 2 games on someone like Kazunoko? I guess, you know, if you get beat down so much after a 3-0 defeat, you're like, never again. Never let it happen again. 20 points, Belc Faithful Gaming right now. To finish things off, Crazy Raccoon needs someone special. They need Bonchan. In my opinion, they need Bonchan to put some points on the board and possibly take us to a tiebreaker scenario.
But hear me out. What if it's Ogura? What if it's Dogura?
That's the window.
Okay, well, he couldn't figure out who he was gonna send, right? He was already kind of confusing himself. He's like, Taisho, player, I forget. That's what it felt like. I think he wanted to put himself up, if I'm being honest with you. I think he really wanted to be like, yeah, man, let's do that. But Bonchan coming up, it makes a lot of sense. You were talking about it earlier. You had a little bit of insight too. You talked about Angry Bird not having a fun time with this matchup. I don't think a lot of the Ken players are going to be having a fun time with this matchup. Let's kind of talk about that, right? I think the Fireball War, Goki does a pretty excellent job in occupying a lot of the normals, or occupying a lot of the space where the normals would fly out from Ken, like a Roundhouse, a Fierce, etc. I think Ken kind of falls a little short in comparison, but I think damage output, Akuma, I think he can deal out a little bit more damage with less amount of meter, less amount of resources. The only thing I think Ken kind of beats Akuma in is possibly the corner carry without meter.
Yeah. And not saying that bar is good because you use that bar with the corner. Yeah, it's not a lot. You know, you've used heavy kick Tatsu. It used to be like a quote-unquote problem for Akuma. But then players would just end their combos with heavy kick Tatsu, and like that's a lot of corner carry. Yeah, you don't get Oki, but who cares? Like, you get a lot of screen space from there. Also, beyond all this, 4 Fierce and Stand Fierce are really good against some of Ken's W buttons. You see like crouching medium kick hit, they go for the Stand Fierce in rebuttal, or even their own crouching medium kick. And that walk speed, being able to walk and weave in and outside that crouching medium kick range or the heavy kick range. Not trying to see that button continuously. And again, as I watch Angry Bird play that matchup, someone who is well versed in both those characters, I start to understand the difficulty. And we see it in some of these matchups too as well. And someone like Bonchan has such a good ground game. Now, that all being said, Ryukichi, when he hits you, it's going to hurt. He's going to show you a new combo that will do out quite a bit of damage that you wouldn't typically expect for Ken. Yeah, he has to use a lot of drive gauge, so he saves up for that right moment. And his tools has been getting better and better. So I don't think this will be a very easy matchup for Bonchan, but I think still on paper, still definitely in Bonchan's favor overall. But we've seen Ryukichi shine like a diamond in some of the most desperate situations at EWC, out here at Street Fighter League, sometimes in the Wolf Warriors. This guy knows what it takes to get the W. He just has to be more consistent about doing so.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, his overall record has not been the brightest, unfortunately. Like, looking at the way he's been playing for a lot of the weeks, I think he's been a part of almost every week. But just overall, he's been trying out different looks. There was one moment where I think in week 1 we actually tried out a Kami, if I'm not mistaken. That was actually kind of random. But his Ken has not successfully gotten the W for him yet, and it's always been in close increments. I think there's been a lot of close encounters where he actually almost got the big W's, right? He's actually been trying to fight in the anchor position a bunch, but hasn't found it just yet. So we'll see if that kind of changes, because the other 2 teammates pretty much on the same record. Sakonoko getting his first win, TS getting his 2nd win overall. It has to be Ryukichi's time, because we know what he's capable of, right? We've watched him play in Topanga, but Bonchan, he understands the situations. He knows they're in danger. He said it here. We were in pretty big danger, but I'll win. My teammates will be only thinking about the extra game.
I like that. Kick way up the shoulders. Leave Ryukichi to me. Gets across, got DP, gets a side switch, but unfortunately, not landing time. The jab is there. Punish counter. Here, the Stand Fierce and the Fireball right after. Safe and solid stuff from the side of Bonchan. Second the green could be an OD Fireball to close things out. Heavy kick helps out to stem down that drive gauge, but there we go. The fast heavy Fireball Not even OD, not even necessary.
Damn, he got him pressing the button. It's a Tatsu. Look at the amount of damage. Uh-oh, level 1. Perfect bust out from Ryukichi. Fireball to set it up. No, it's going to be drive rush forward. Hits the old man right where it hurts. Shouldn't you be babysitting? Shouldn't you be watching the kids?
So you can do your taxes, huh? Drive impact, but here's a clap back here from Bonchan. Big amount of damage to this Calamity. That's going to be the victory. Bonchan being able to counter poke, get himself outside that corner position. Now listen, this is something I wanted to talk about a little bit too as well, is that according to our stream, according to the restream, the chat, and some of the players from Japan, Ryukichi, after he had lost last time, had booted up his stream and was thinking about like other characters to play. I hope that doubt isn't in his mind, and the character, Ken, is still fantastically strong. So is Ryukichi. He finds those right moments and opportunities. I hope that doesn't really bring him down too much. Right now, better round start, Hansatsu.
Immediate bust out from Bonchan. What a punish counter. Let's get the Oki off of the uppercut. Side switch 2. Oh, you get the trade? Dude, this is a ridiculous start. This was all of the tech put into one round. That was phenomenal. What a start from Ryukichi.
Everything on Twitter implemented here in the match. Perfect parry after the fireball. Knew that 4 Fierce would come through. The side switch, positional advantage. That crushing kick out for too long. Baits out the ODDP for free. Adamant fist starter. A dumping of damage in the corner. Kuma does even more damage. Be able to get that wall pin situation. And another bait right there. Easy bait up and seconds for Bonchan. That's the second round.
Damn, he was trying to come back for seconds, huh? Trying to knock on the door as well. Bonchan gets thrown for his troubles. That's a back throw for the side of Ryukichi. Yes, sir! Jump medium punch air to air! Level 3 whiffs. That actually is a buster. That feels so bad. You paid for half your life plus burnout? That's gotta be such a... Oh, not quite burnout, but you know what? The OD fireball? Maybe. Bonchan knows it. Oh, there he goes.
Oh. He's a burnout though. Does have a lot of screen to work around with. The drive impact. Ryukichi gives him nothing. Can he survive? Hit combo. Drive rush overhead. Knows a jab instead. Knocking on the door. Gets a grip right after it. Fireball pressure incoming. Stand fierce. Adamant fist won't miss. Man's locked in that sequence. And Bonchan took advantage of that burnout scenario. That is, as you mentioned, is so unfortunate. Spent the level 3. Very hard combo to get that jump medium into the Oditatsu level 3 follow up. It's very finicky. Risk with no reward.
Yeah, that should have been his, or at least like that sequencing, had it not dropped, it would have been such a different story, man. But you can see the confidence kind of like fading out, hit after hit after hit. He was kind of like backing away. What was also really sick was him equalizing the damage with a read against the fireball, putting himself into burnout. He's like, all right, well, if I can't call these fireballs correctly, if I can't parry them correctly, I'm gonna be burnt out myself anyway. So him throwing out the fireball and then reacting to it with run uppercut was a great idea, amazing idea. But following suit afterwards, it was just so tough, right? You were in burnout. You didn't really have an opportunity to do anything outside of Oki. It was a tough draw overall. But man, what a drop! What a significant drop.
Those are like the moments that you want to have to pull yourself back in this and be like, I can do this. I can still win. I got this. It's possible. But now even more so, I feel like that confidence is getting crushed. And Ryukichi's one of those cats that like he's been trying to keep himself solid. You know what I'm saying? He's a very emotional player. You mentioned this previously at EWC. We've seen it at EWC. We've seen how much, even when he wins, how much it matters to him, how stressed he gets. He's like holding his chest, about to have a stroke. And after his streams, you know, you talk to him a little bit. It's like, man, like, he's like, I gotta be better. I gotta be better. Those moments that happen are crushing for him. But this is one of those things where it's also like, you gotta use this moment to pull yourself up. Even though you made that big mistake and you're down 2 games, use this to pull yourself up and fight back. Because you definitely do not want to leave without having a 40 bomber. A 40 bomber is critical for Belc Facebook Gaming. Again, they are the lowest scoring team right now. They've been that way for it feels like for the majority of the season. 30 points is how they walked in, leaving with only possibly at max 55 points is not a good look. And Crazy Raccoon would leave out of here with 20 points. Not boosting them up against the playoff line just yet, I guess, but still way better for them. So it's also a matter of like the 9 points for these other players as well. It all rides on Ryukichi right now. Can he get his W, or will Bonchan take a 3-0?
Round 1. Fight.
Man, the resets have been mad confusing thus far, even for Bonchan. Can't make the right defensive choices thus far. Ryukichi does get exposed a little bit too far out too.
It's been catching quite a bit. Crushing really kick to catch him like walking back. Just one more touch. An easy fireball, an OD especially, good kill right here. Stand like he's buffering it. Wouldn't even need the buffer, to be honest. Just a tap at this point. Drive impact, catches the forward fierce. He tried to initiate with that long range button. Get that out of here. Standing off set point, Ryukichi. Still in.
Finds the mark. At least one of these ODs is gonna hit, right? Man, they are spending gauge so much right now from both ends.
Oh, and like payday right here. Crouching with a kick into nothing though here from Ryukichi. He didn't want to utilize that drive gauge just yet, but Ryukichi feels like he's wasting just a little bit more. That fireball interrupt that drive rush. And it causes him to kind of be more pensive. He's like, well, I can't just drive rush him with a jab. We'll get the 3-piece into level 3. Burnout on the way. Big lead in terms of drive gauge 2 as well. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Close to burnout. OD fireball after this. Drive rush medium into the gen right. See, that's why you better, Ryukichi. That's why you out there on the sticks. Knew what to do. Sequencing puts Bonchan in burnout. Doesn't overextend.
Yeah, he knows it too. He's well aware of the 3 bars that Bonchan has, hence why we didn't see the rest of the gen right. Oh my god! I gotta say, Belc Favu Gaming is getting away with a lot of drive impacts. Bonchan not ready to commit after the low forward. That could have been low forward into Demon, low forward into Sip of Calamity, low forward into any super art if need be.
Round 1.
That mental stack, right? This game, like, there's things that you practice up in the lab continuously, but you get up in the game, you try to finish things off. Rikishi with the side switch, jump like kick. Bonchan holds tight, finds a crouch with a kick of his own. Heavy kick in there, a lot of corner carry. Stand fierce to the fireball to catch him walking back to kill some of that drive gauge.
What a conversion off a sand medium kick too. I love that. It was back-to-back trades. Oof, duh.
Level 2 fireball charging up. Doing something different with that pressure. What do you fireball? Ryukichi having spent some of that bar. Part of the problem in this matchup is you have to eventually use some of that OD gauge to cut through the miasma and plasma that this character puts on, that Akuma has with these fast fireballs. Oh, that would have been sick of a hit. You know he would have got that run DP.
Oh, absolutely he would have. Yeah, this is going to be like the slowdown of the match for Ryukichi deciding to go right in that moment too. Same with Bonchan. Uh-oh.
Oh, drive reversal, wake up button.
He had that.
Nothing big. That could have been, at least could have been a side switch, right? A side switch combo, counter hit, crouch fierce. You get the side switch off the Dragon Lash enhancement. At minimum. Oh, cross up Tatsu! Triple Jin right!
Yeah, perfect time to use that drive reversal too to keep the containment. Keep Bonchan in that corner. Oh boy! We're gonna get another one. We're getting another round. Yes, spend the rest of it too. 1 bar to Ryukichi. Making it all come back against Bonchan. Man, Ryukichi is really toughing it out.
DP, something simple with it, but a lot of damage. See, again, he finds those access points for damage that Ken doesn't typically have. Lands a crouching kick, Tatsu, DP right after it. 1 more touch. Into something big with the bar at the bottom. You don't even need it. Never mind. It's a Kuma. Perfectly fine. And 2 perfects. Ryukichi.
4 perfects all across the board. From TS, Ryukichi. It's kind of crazy right now. These guys are all looking kind of crazy. What a rebuttal!
Across Otatsu, bro, that was. Anytime you see a counter on the screen, he has been. Bro, that is God. I love seeing people make something out of like counter hit moments like that you don't expect, or tools that people think are weaker or maybe less utilized into a lot of reward. And someone like Ryukichi, if given access to that, will make the magic happen. We prefaced that previously. We're seeing it right here. It's a final game, but these counter hits are leading to so much.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There was a moment where I saw that I had to like hold on to my seat physically because I almost yelled. I almost like shouted to the rooftops off of that. Because you don't see that too often, and you don't see it connect into a level 2 of all things. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Because it's so uncommon.
This guy's good. This guy Ryukichi, he understands his character in and out. I mean, this dude don't post tech on Twitter for nothing. He utilizes it in all the matchups that you see. It's just having access in the neutral, feeling confident in the neutral too as well, against somebody who's so well informed, and being able to put Bonch on the back foot. We see a lot of these rebuttals not work out for him. A lot of Admit Fist not working out in terms of like hitting, and the punish is coming through. Even the scramble situations, it feels like Ryukichi has been taking the lead ever so slowly. And we've seen the counter hit trades happen in his favor more often than not, which is surprising. I feel like someone who has that awareness would be something like Bonchan, but it's Ryukichi who's making the money and the magic happen.
Yeah, man, this is a really hotly contested match. Like you would see Bonchan kind of making the big adjustments too between games 1 and game 2, but it's Ryukichi. He's throwing up some real unorthodox things that we haven't really seen. It's not unorthodox as in it's not practical. He's been doing a lot of things to kind of test Bonchan in terms of like some of the resets, even off of things that are like hit, like even off of Jinrai. There have been a lot of really big interactions that Ryukichi has been taking advantage of. Oh, and Bonchan, not impressed, man. He is upset.
He backdash, went for the crouching me to kick the drive push right after. Are you kidding me? Like, Bonchan's like, bro, enough. Enough is enough. Set point for him, but we'll see what happens. I don't think Ryukichi's out of this just yet.
Not quite. Not quite. This is looking kind of dire, Zancola. Look at this. Oh, we're going to get a double. Ooh-wee. If he had blocked that, that would have been a quadruple perfect set for both ends. But either way, I'm glad that Ryukichi getting away from it all up until that point. Bonchan has just had too much, and from the side of Ryukichi, it was too little, too late. Bonchan clutching it out. We're going into sudden death.
Just, all right, Bonchan, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ryukichi. Didn't mean to curse you, my boy. That was that's real unfortunate. I was like, man, he's not out of this just yet. But Bonchan had something different to say. The way that he played right after that, just now you see punishing the heavy kick a lot more. Actually walking up a lot more too as well to let some of these interactions happen where you can punish them a lot easier and get a lot more reward. Ryukichi had some great moments. Like even this, the trade combo right after in certain sequences and drops, he's so ready. He's like, I've seen this. I've practiced these moments. The perfect pairs to get some of these fireballs too as well. But Bonchan being able to take advantage of like the burnout, even though this did happen though. The drive impact was mad good. Bonchan being able to take advantage more often, at least in this last game, was better for him. But man, Ryukichi played so well. It's just like I don't know, I feel like he just, the opposite happened. The counter hits were coming through the side of Bonchan. He was landing all the counter hits and the damage from that. Now we're to that final game. I want to see the run back. Give me the run back. Just give me the run back. Come on, just put him back up. Just keep them actually in the seat. Don't get up. Don't go to the bathroom. Don't go get no drink. Just play. Just play. That's what I'd like to see personally.
I can agree with that. I think he was playing pretty hot. I think that moment where he iced him with the timeout made it a pretty big deal. But personally, I don't think he did anything wrong towards the end. Put him back in.
Yes.
Yep. We are in the same boat, Sankola, 100% in the same boat, and it just makes sense, right? I think he's doing just fine regardless. It just has to happen. He just has to go in again.
What up, Bon-chan? Come on, Bon-chan. Stop smiling and lock in. You're going to have to go right back in. Put him in. Yes! All right. It makes sense. Obviously, Bon-chan is also...
Yeah, dude. This guy is a nerd, man. He really is a nerd, man. I love him. I love him to death. He's really funny. I think he's a funny, really funny cat. But brother, come on, man. Keeping us on pins and needles? What are you doing? I love that guy, man.
He's so cool. He's so cool. This makes sense. This makes sense from Bon-chan's perspective too as well. I feel like his timing is really good in terms of be very in the last match in terms of getting the counter hits of 4 fears, catching the walkbacks and things like that. And you saw him actually walk up round start to catch the heavy kick. We saw heavy kick round start from Ryukichi before. This time he walked up. He's like, I'm gonna get a proper punish. To make sure I will get a proper punish, I will use this walk speed of Akuma to walk into your range. And I think a lot of those walk-ins kind of put Ryukichi off guard a little bit. So it's going to be a battle of who has the better timing, it feels like. Who's able to get those counter hits off more consistently, and who's able to put the other person on the back foot. Perfect pair is always going to be a big pain point, depending on what player is sending out more OG fireballs, more fireballs just in general. But I do think it'll be a battle of counter hits. And the first to one, this is anybody's game. Before, Bon-chan at the end was definitely dominant, but now, all bets are off.
Right. It is kind of tough. I think they've been kind of matching each other in terms of pacing in regards to what's being used for the drive gauge, whether it's OD fireballs or drive rushing forward. This has been a very evenly and hotly contested match for both. I can't even tell you when they decide to throw out fireballs because there haven't really been exact moments where I feel like there's any sort of trend or any sort of notable habits from either one. They've been playing very ambiguously, and the moments of aggression have been very, very sporadic. So that I think obviously is the most enjoyable part thus far, but it also makes it rather difficult as a player to be like, well, do I just go or should I just hold back? What happens here?
Like moments, you're definitely right about the fireball stuff because moments I expect an OD fireball from Bon-chan, he'll use heavy, even though it's like a fast fireball. It's like, why would you not go for OD there to clip a limb? You know what I'm saying? Like, have a better chance of doing so. But it's hard to read, and that's going to make that harder. If you're Ryukichi, you're poking with fireballs, so it makes it kind of hard to read the rhythm in terms of what, your normal is going to be right after. For same with Bon-chan in a different sort of sense, he can play a little bit longer range with his fireballs. Obviously, it's a little bit more distance with the 4 fierce and stand fierce. In terms of the interview, Ryukichi says, I lost the previous game, but best of one is my game, so let me win here. That's crazy. He said, I love this. I rumble in this jungle. Bon-chan says, this 5 points is crucial to the standings later on. I want to make this game the start of the second half.
Man, I love this, actually. Between these two, I think they're both worthy of the 5-point game. Just the way that it's turned out, and also just personal favorites, right? These guys are both such stays and staples, I gotta say, household names at this point as well. I think they both deserve it.
Final match. He takes the lion's share of the points. Looks to throw the back jumpers in. The perfect parry. He was aware of the sequencing too as well. The stand fierce would be a good follow-up. Just a step ahead, backs up for the anti-air. Go show you. Go sit down.
Man, all right, we've talked about how important the drive gauge is on behalf of both ends. Ryukichi putting himself into the burnout, and he's trying his hardest, right? Bon-chan is biding his time to get this big drive impact against him, but man, Ryukichi's defense has been so on point. Yes, sir. Crouching exclusive.
Finds a stand fierce, fist to face up with this corner space, run cancel. I feel like there could have been a little bit more, but in burnout again, the Noah Prodigy special. Bro, my man's movements are ridiculous, but Bon-chan slows him down. You're going 16 to 25 in a school zone? Park that.
I also saw that tweet of somebody going 60 in a school zone. That
what happened to them?
Well, they didn't get to play Street Fighter for the rest of the day, I'll tell you what. Oh. The bust out too. a little bit starved from here on both ends, more so from Bonchan though. Get off of me, sir! It's not gonna be quite in burnout, but I think he could force that with maybe like a normal into Jinrai. He could do like heavy, but we'll see. Oh,
we tried to do for jab Jinrai, I think. Command grab lands, right back, perfect parry! He said, who's old? I'll show you who's old. Man, Bolt with the blue stuff. Plus frames off the medium, blocks out the overhead. So one more touch scenario, Vicious. Can he kill?
Yes, sir, he caught him. Ryukichi trying to stave off the fireball war, avoid it as much as possible. He tried to throw a fireball of his own, but Bonchan readjusted accordingly with the range. That was actually the most old man thing ever. What a beast. Let me fix my face. Truly veteran status in regards to the fireball spacing and the fireball war. Shades of Sagat coming in clutch from Bonchan.
I was about to say, literally shades of Scott. If there's going to be somebody who understands the fireball game and what comes before and after, it's going to be Bonchan. Veteran status, stadium status here for this team. Crazy Raccoon walks off with the lion's share of the points. And this is like such a hard thing to read in terms of like the jabs, the dashbacks, forth. But Bonchan, he's been in the business for so long. He's undeterred, is unfettered from anything. And you also saw the perfect parry against that drive impact. That was super sick. Chipping out continuously. We're gonna be seeing, I think, here. Stand fierce, the jump medium. Finally did land level 3, so I gotta give Ryukichi some credit. He was like, I'm gonna land that combo.
Yes.
But the spacing from the fireballs that drivers forward fierce, that is super sick. If you're an Akuma player, you gotta be watching someone like Bonchan with his fireball pressure and what comes after. 25 points of totality here for Crazy Raccoon over Belc Faith Gaming. I gotta give Faithful Gaming some credit. Hey, they got 20 points to their side, and they are building themselves up. Very dominant game, especially in that second one with TS, but just wasn't able to close it out when it really mattered at the very end. It's hard to tell what you could have done, because I feel like Ryukichi didn't do anything super wrong, as you mentioned. It's just Bonchan played right at the very end.
And I'll agree with that. I think a lot of players out here are going to be agreeing to that as well. I think there's just moments where Bonchan has the right read. That's undeniable. I think there's going to be moments where Ryukichi tried his best to get a couple of mix-ups in, but Bonchan just happened to be the better player that day. I think in regards to the way it played out, they started out even. Skill level. Actually, no. Let me fix it. Bonchan started off pretty aggressively. He was looking at the better player. Ryukichi rebutted immensely to the point where it was damn near even. But Bonchan, at the end of the day, he just clutches it out. And that's part of the game, man.
It's part of it, you know, being able to turn up when need be and, you know, keep that pressure up. I think if you're Ryukichi, you don't go back to your stream and say, man, I need another character or whatever. I don't think it's a matter of that. I think it's, you know, being able to reassess in some of these moments. Like, again, not his fault, but you definitely see there are moments where he's like, okay, I have to tighten this up and maximize certain things here and there. But man, Bonchan, his Akuma is ridiculous. We'll get the interviews from the team here. Shuto starts off. Not good for me, not good for me at all. I want to be a help for the next team. Next game, I should say. So Shuto understanding that he needs to improve a little bit. I feel like his style definitely is like good, like at the very first part of the meta for Akuma, but now it's to add a little bit more in terms of stability. Kazunoko says, not good at all. Kazunoko also not so good on his side of things, so he understands that he also did a few mistakes here and there, had a few mistakes here and there, so.
These guys are a bunch of dweebs, man. I love it though. I really do. The whole crew, the whole cast and crew are full of jokers, man. Shuto's mad funny. Dogura's mad funny. Kazunoko, he's willing to meme it out as well. But man, I gotta say this whole group getting away with only 25 points is genuinely quite the surprise. Just based off of performance, like previous performances, right? Like anybody could tell you if they were looking at it on paper, they would think to themselves, man, Crazy Raccoon, they might walk away with a 30-10 victory. Heck, they might even get a 40 bomber. But it coming down to 20 to 25 in a tiebreaker scenario, completely surprising. But that's just because of Belc Favu Gaming stepping it up today, and I think it's amazing. I think I would love to see them kind of take this L and still be really inspired by it, because I think they did a phenomenal job. They took down Shuto and Kazunoko. That's ridiculous. It's pretty good. But looking at the rest of the interview, if we won the extra game, we had to do the interview. So I wanted Bonchan to lose. That actually feels kind of bad. I get it. Like, you would have to do like the full squad interview, and they have to talk about their L's. I wouldn't want to do that either. Kazunoko highlighting one of the biggest things he got hit by. I got hit. I took on too much impacts. I'll impact back next time. I believe you. I'll try to believe you at least.
Hey, good luck to you. I mean, some of these players out here are younger than 30, so good luck. But, I think if you were on the other teams, you're like, okay, I can farm him for some points. I can farm him for that award. All right, next time I see Kazunoko, I'll smash that drive impact. I'm going to get that 50K in, bro. Bonchan, though, says it was a great first 2 games, and the games after I lost without knowing why. Really lucky I was able to win. We mentioned that. Part of this is just like, you just are a little bit better than a person on that day or that moment, and you just ride with that success. We're 30 points away from the top teams. 5 points was really worth the win. So maybe they would like 5 more, but this is still pretty good. But Fable Gaming, though, not getting farmed feels good, though. I feel like, on the other hand of things, Fable Gaming being like, hey, you're not going to farm me just for points as well. What are they doing, bro? Are they Chinese dog, bro? He's like, am I allowed to speak today?
I don't know what's happening, but I'm telling you, man, these guys are a bunch of goobers. Yeah, I think it's a very valid point that you said. They're not going to be like... What is happening?
What is going on? I cannot wait to go ask them on their stream. What are y'all doing?
I don't even know. What is happening? What was my point? Crazy Raccoon being saved off a couple of points is pretty significant, right? They could have been at the borderline. I think they would have been in a very decent position at 135, starting things off. But being at 125, I think Belc, Fable Gaming, doing a pretty decent job of stopping the rest. Right? If you're at the bottom 2, you can only hope for disrupting the rest of the teams. For the most part. It's still relatively early, after all. It's only week number 6 after all, so we'll see how it plays out. But that's the conclusion. 25 points for the side of Crazy Raccoon. Coming up next, VARREL versus CAG Osaka.
Last time that was CAG with the win, 30-10 on that Division F round 1 match right there. So we'll see what happens. VARREL on the away side, home side, CAG Osaka this time. We've seen some of these players rise to the occasion, especially with some surprise picks as well. But they'll have after break. Before we go to any of that, of course, we're going to go and talk about our lovely sponsors that have been putting on for the Street Fighter League Japan community. And there's been a lot of stuff going on for League. Again, these players out here getting ready for the US, airing soon, EU airing soon as well in November, and you can catch everything at Capcom_esports. Go ahead and put that for all the greatest and latest news in terms of Japanese Street Fighter. Now, if you want more in terms of the US and some other coverage at Capcom Fighters, and then of course ours at Vicious FGC and at _St. Cola. You can hit us up too as well. You can also hit up Street Fighter Duel for this new collab that's coming through with Street Fighter 6. Luke been added. I want to see Terry. I keep saying it. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe they have to work on all the stuff, the handshakes and things like that. But I want to see Scary Terry appear.
I kind of wonder. I mean, there has to be like some sort of collab with other like fighting games as well, like in the future. That would be kind of sick. But it is under a different publisher technically. The rights being given to them has been granted from the Street Fighter side of things, but outside of that, would love to see everything kind of happening that way. Would also love to see the people in Japan check out the playoffs happening for Street Fighter League Japan in December. Right, 21 and 22 are going to be the dates. Be sure to reserve that ASAP and also claim your tickets. $30, $60 if my conversion is correct. Maybe a little bit cheaper for USD, but 3,000 yen and 6,000 yen is a pretty significant deal. All things considered for the web viewing, actually. Excuse me. This is for the pay-per-view. You get a VIP too. That's actually kind of sick. But the grand finals, 100% that's going to be happening in person. You guys can get the value tickets at 4,000, but if you want the S-rank tickets, if you want to get up close and personal with all the action, 12K yen is doable. You guys can do it, that is for sure. February 11th is when it's happening for the grand finals of Street Fighter League Japan. You guys don't want to miss it. In the meantime, again, things are kind of unpredictable with the second half. It's only been the first week of the second part of round robin. So we'll see how this plays out. Either way, it's gonna be VARREL versus COG Osaka. It's gonna be happening after this break, so don't go anywhere. Grab some snacks, grab a drink. We'll be right back. See you soon.
休憩の後にはマッチ2バレル対 CAG 大阪こちらの模様をお届けしてまいります。再開は約10分後の20時16分頃を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. combo. I ain't never scared, never quitting is the motto. Come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take the best shot. Yeah, come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. Among us. Take it much farther. Fast with the hands, E Honda. Defend my legacy with strength and honor. I'm the greatest ever. It's a showdown. This is my arena.
中堅戦は佐古対ウリョ。
結構攻めづらいんですよね。OD 無敵技と。
いやー、飛んだ。そして飛びピンポイント。よ
っしゃ大きい男だお前は。
勝負の分かれ目中段。そしてじゃあ K をしている。
誰行く大将？
豪気やったら俺にします？どうします？
そうっすね。豪気やったらそうっすね。ウリョさんにしますか。
TS 豪気。一先俺誰でも弾ける気するんで、その精神でいきたいと思います。頑張れ。
いいな。
リョが割り込んできた。
いい、
すごい。一先
リフリから
完全にやりに来ている。お、暴れて後ろ投げ。これ
めっちゃでかいですね。
でかすぎる。
ナイス。
タッチ受け多めになってきましたね。やはり最後に頼れる技はジェビこれなんですよ。
ラッシュ。
オッケー。よしよしよしよし。
これで3本。
ナイス。
歩いてくるところ抜けている。TS もこれでドライブゲージが3本以上になりました。
止
めている。ダイヤバード。これでいいの。
オッケー。
あー、止めてる。ダイヤ締め。ディリバ。
3枚。
あらあら。
昇竜。SA ゲージは1本持っている。押してるが見てる TS。中段。あー、出し切った。
運がいいよ。ウリョ君大吉です。大吉。ガチャポン大吉。
Weekly Street Fighter League Japan VARREL 大黒
さあ本当にここまで被弾なく寄せつけないのは大黒。ブレイド風は持っているがドライブゲージはない。
さあどうだ。
力つけていった。D まで冷たくいく。これがコウホリの世界。さあラインを押し上げる。この一手もかなり大きい一手に見えます。
時間稼ぎでただ飛びが当たったら
そうですね、
逆転なんでいいじゃん。
大黒のドライブゲージは1本未満で残り10カウント。インパクト白軍をこっそり持っていった。さあ打っていった。これはでかいぞ。中央だ。歩いてきた。
取ったのでかいな。
大きくガッツポーズは大黒。次はどうだ。うおー、さあこれラッシュ。うわー、ここだけだ。飛んでいた大黒、守りきった。
Coming at you quick is going to be VARREL versus CAG Osaka. As we get into it, VARREL is going to be on the away side. Coming back into it, Vicious here with St. Cola. Let's get right into the nitty-gritty. Started things off with the unyielding rebel that is Daikoku, with the ever-impressive Guile actually becoming a fan favorite for a lot of folks out here too. Followed by the hero of Sunrise that is Moke. Coming in next, Prince of the Rapids, it is going to be Mizuha with an ever-evolving Kami. Then, of course, our favorite, 2D God, Mago-san. Hopefully we get to see the Terry this time. I know he trolled us a little bit last week. I want to see it happen, but something tells me it's not going to happen. What in the October? That is actually kind of scary. That's terrifying.
I gotta say Halloween, but it's gonna be scary right now. They don't keep themselves solid against CAG Osaka. No longer the new kids on the block. They'll definitely make you drop, as they have been a lot more solidified out here in terms of the amount of points. They are, again, tied with the other two top teams out here, looking to keep up with that top spot for the playoffs. We have a star-studded cast, fantastic players. Let's start it off. CAG Osaka, the eternal ace Uryo. He gonna buy you a drink with that Jamie. It's been absolutely deadly with that character throughout the entirety of the league. Behind him is the Unlimited Dragon Dance, Eita, and the DP5 with the Akuma and Kin, possibly, but more so on the Satsuno sauce these days. Now, that the theoretical value, I don't know what that means, but I do know it means victory for Finrich whenever he is on the screen. He is running that Blanca ragged. He is doing a great job of showcasing that character, still being strong. Last but definitely not least, extraordinaire, the man of iron defense, impenetrable. It's Goichi on the Chun-Li or Akuma if need be, depending on what needs to happen. Now, this team, again, let me make sure the points are right. 135 along with Yogibo Reject and Hiroshima Team Itsuka for now. Would like to get that. Whoa, hey, whoa, whoa. What's with the spooky season with all these players so close to the screen looking like me in the early days? Relax.
That's terrifying. I think Eita and Mago have something to say to each other, but let them say it on the battlefield. It's going to be VARREL coming in with Mizuha, Moke, and Maga. Triple M's.
I think you put up Uryo for Mizuha, for Moke, Eita, Akuma and Chun-Li, and then for Mago, you put up Goichi. I heard a lot of Drake players do not like that matchup, and I saw him practicing for that matchup too as well recently on CFN, so we'll see if it occurs like that though.
Ooh. I kind of like this bout, to be honest with you. I don't think Jamie suffers too much against Cammy shenanigans. I think he's going to be pretty well oriented to this matchup, I feel like. But in all honesty, Cammy's just so good. She could just easily run him over. I'm banking on Mizuha not having the character experience. 1,000%. Because realistically, who does, right?
You find real good Jamie practice again besides Naru. And that guy's been playing Scary Terry right now. He's on a different pathway right now ever so often. And then you have to go to EU for Bolt Strike, Flakido in the US. You don't get a lot of practice overall, especially at this level, right? And Uryo has shown that he is very, very different, hard to really lock down. In fact, I feel like he has been one of those players that a lot of people have looked to in terms of showcasing the character can still work. And I think in this matchup, in terms of like the footsie game, Jamie I think he can operate just fine. I think he's got the normals to do so with the stand medium kick, crouch medium kick, that stand fierce that's super fast as well. I feel like he can hang with Cam. Crouch fierce also has some ranges, can deal with the dive kick if well spaced. But that is hard against someone like Mizuha. So hard to pin down, very aggressive, very, very risky. We'll go for sweeps that we don't expect, dive kicks at wild ranges that you don't expect to as well. We've seen spiral arrows at ranges where it shouldn't be safe and isn't safe, but we'll run it anyway. Just gonna knock down, kind of use that to snowball the opponent. So we'll see though. Looking at their records, Uryo, he's doing pretty good. I think he only lost one game game so far. No, I'm sorry. He's lost 2. So far he has 3 wins in 5 games.
Overall, like in terms of sets played?
In terms of sets played, 3 games out of 5. Yeah.
That's kind of wild. That's actually kind of wild. Yeah, and he beat, in week 2, he beat Bonchan. Week 5, he beat Sakonoko. And then he also won in the... Huh. So that was last week, huh? He won in the sudden death battle as well, if I'm not mistaken. That's actually kind of wild. Yeah, that's exactly it. So 3 games to his name. Not bad, not bad at all. And all things considered, man, I think he's just banking on majority of the time, kind of like trying to read people and see whether or not they have a full understanding of what Jamie can do. But he's also given some really, really good looks. I haven't seen him go like buck wild with what the character could do in level 3. I haven't seen him go for any command grabs, really. I don't think a lot of people have been susceptible to that kind of thing, even though it is a big looming threat, right? Which is going to be an interesting part of the development here in the second half. I want to see whether or not Uryo is going to force somebody to second guess the command grab coming, which is it's such an imperative tool, right?
100%. And along the lines of that, in terms of like he hasn't been able to access those things or showcase it, I feel like it hasn't been necessary. Now, maybe with more understanding that he is going to be coming at the forefront as a vanguard, I feel like now people are going to be like, this might be an option. So for him, he'll have to put that on the deck. Interrupts the drive rush in the round start though. Mizuwa more than aware and avoids the throw, getting the punish counter right after. So jump, perfect parry and back thrown. Oh, the shimmy right back at him with the crouch fierce. I like that sauce.
What in the hell?
Are you kidding me? The dive kick hit.
How did you get that conversion off of the read for a punish counter off of the dive kick? You're actually insane for that. This guy Uryo is so sick. He's showing off some really neat things with this character every single time we see him play.
He said he was the top batter. He said, I'm the team's top batter, that's me. But Mizuwa did say he trained with some Jamies, but again, it's hard to train against someone like Uryo. Like his tendencies, his timings, his reads have been fantastic. The dive kick does hit. Uryo survived worse up in this corner. You see it in the Bonchan match. Ah, maybe not here though. Crouch fierce punch gets a DP.
Oh, that could have been so substantial off of the standing medium kick. Had it been canceled, it would have been so much in the corner, so much out of the corner, excuse me. Damn, that was a deep dive kick.
Range jump, neutral jump. This one finishes the job. No perfect parry in sight. Game to game, a lot of juice at the bottom here. Maybe a level 2 could cut loose. Uryo would like to go for the plus frame scenario right after, kind of ride up momentum. Back up in the corner.
Yeah, this is Mizuha right now taking advantage of the defensive tendencies that Uryo has. More so outplaying the player instead of the character. It's exactly it, right?
100% in terms of being able to get those throws off, and you see him just wait and still be at the right range to get that anti-air, get the DP off if he tried to leave. He's definitely looking at the tendencies right back, which is Uryo's game plan. You've seen that before. He's like, I'll just read you. Does get the anti-air, gets the dive kick and a swig of the sauce. Now able to get a little bit of punish and another swig. Now you see him going for a little bit more of that drink early in the day. It's less scaly at play.
Does get an interruption to midair. It's fighting for his life pretty much mid-screen, right? One of the things that we like to see Jamie do is kind of like be able to exercise mid-screen and get some of these big openers like off of the target combo as well. But Mizuha, again, he's trying to keep it tricky. You see him gonna go in the air a couple of times over with just like a light. That was actually a huge air from Uryo. I couldn't tell you what that was.
Unfortunately, let him outside the corner. Mizuha. No arrow. On the wake up. Almost back with bar. Will he get it before he dies? He does. He blocks out the overhead. Counter it, but nothing after it though. No crouching medium punch after that counter jab.
Not quite dead yet. Could wake up with a super if he wanted to, but instead he wakes up with the uppercut, and Mizuha was already in it with the drive impact.
Sad point for Mizuha, just mauling Uryo. First time we've seen this in a long time. Stand line kick buffer, the drive rush right after. Target combo, spiral arrow. Once the Oki and the damage. Close enough to that DP follow-up. Shimmy, caught now. Drive reversal, offensive style, stay up in the corner. Wow, another shimmy, this time to stand fierce. As a rebuttal, he had the record, didn't commit. This time he will. Level 3. Damage follow-up. Ah, yes, attack on drive gauge. I like that.
Makes a lot more sense. Look at this, the standstill while Mizuha does have the drive gauge just replenished.
Perfect parry and the punish right after. With the scaling, it won't even matter. You're still deader than dead. Locked on and clocked on. Mizuha rolling over Uriel, which we have not seen. He said he trained with a bunch of Jamies. We saw him, I feel like, train against Uriel and understand his tendencies more often than not. I feel like the matchup wasn't really at hand. It was just reading the player tendencies over and over, getting his win in that corner pressure. Too continuous. Even the mid screen was fantastic. Mizuha acting his game and getting a game on the board for his team.
That's what it felt like, right? I think that was actually one of the biggest tells that Uriel was kind of getting worked, right? Especially in the first game. There wasn't really a moment where he felt like, where at least as a viewer, where it felt like, man, some of Jamie's tools just aren't working here. It was mostly just taking advantage of the corner and the throws. We didn't really get to see some of the big weaknesses highlighted that Jamie has in this area, right? That's literally been the cause of his downfall. In the second game, however, we saw a little bit of that, but it was mostly, again, because Mizuha has the full understanding of how Uriel specifically wants to play, where we got this exact outcome too. Perfect parry into it, level 3. Again, I think that was mostly just Mizuha outplaying the player.
Absolutely. I will say that drive impact against the ODDP was clutch. That had to have been matchup knowledge. Like, I will cover all of my bases with that one to get the kill. He moves on. 2 games. I believe that was tech early in the days of fighting Jamie, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to run that in the train lab or go to the replay center. But now, I have some more action. I think against Chun-Li. Who are we sending up here? Moke. I said Ada.
That's tough.
I think that's still. I think that should still stand. I think that should, on paper, should stand. What do you think?
That is kind of tough. I like Fenrich. Okay, well, Fenrich is already going up. Yeah, no, he already beat me to it. I like Fenrich with Blanca. It just makes a lot of sense, being able to stop some of the things that Chun-Li wants to do, being able to like outpoke, or be kind of like, so here's the thing. I think she's a really well-rounded character with the fireball game, the pokes being tremendous, being able to outrange a lot of people. Blanca doesn't really have to fear any of that. I think the fireballs kind of get blown up with the slide. I think he has a very obnoxious crouching medium punch to kind of outpace Chun-Li in terms of normals. I like also airball being a disruptor to kind of force Chun-Li's to guess incorrectly against the anti-airs from further out. I do like this pick. And even if this doesn't work out, I also kind of like JP if it doesn't work.
That's a good point. JP, I think, would be fantastic in this match, even more so with the way the buffs have happened in terms of like the anti-air approach. Like, Troy has a 40 jump, and being able to use that significant crouch fierce buff that has happened to that character, the anti-air even better if she takes the skies, and then rule around with the fireballs to take them down. I think that also is a good switch. So I like that double pick right there. Ada would have been fine on Akuma, but I do agree having both these characters at the ready might actually pose a bigger threat here to Moke. I'm curious what he's going to be saying, if he's prepared and prepped for these matches. If he was prepped for the Blanca at all. This is kind of difficult here for the away side, even though we do see a victory for the side of Mizuha. I feel like the ideas from CAG are good, though. We'll see if they hold tight in this next game. But yeah, man, I think the only thing you can't really do in the match with the Blanca versus Chun-Li is block the ball, because that's an easy crouching medium punch. Her button stuffs that out, but he doesn't really use it that much, so I don't think that's going to be a pain point.
No,
he doesn't. Neutral, play the crouching medium punch game. He doesn't really need to use that at all, so he'll be A-okay. Okay, since I trade for the game and against CAG, it's very important for our team to get this win.
かなりジャストパリが噛み合ってしまって。
A pretty standard interview, I must say.
今回は なんとか
But Moke giving a little bit extra too, talking about the love and adoration from the fans coming in. How significant that's going to be. He wants to do his best for the team. Also kind of standard, totally understandable. Let's take a look at Moke's overall record. Shall we? Give me a quick second. Looking into it. Player ranking Division F. Now, the website is kind of tough to navigate. Not gonna lie to you guys. I found him. Moke. So, overall, he is currently 1 out of 4. The last big W he had, which was a significant one, was in the extra round, which was in the sudden death battle. Now, I think that's pretty significant because it's his first, like, big W ever thus far, but it's still, like, showing us that he's capable because he had to face off against Hikaru, and that went down to the wire. That went down 2-3 in Hikaru's favor.
Also, looking at history, Finrich did beat Moke before with the Blanca, so I guess this pick already is one of those that he's done before. So this is another run back. I like that. Looking at what Finrich says, he says, last time I won with just berries. I want to win with my character strength as well this time. Hey man, if it works, it works. Listen, don't need to switch it up if it don't need to be switched up, but you might have to switch it up right now. Moke, something to say. I'm sure he's went to the lab. TKOD Blanca ball, as you mentioned. Now good gets a throw. The side switch as well. He grabs the tap parry. Oh, the neutral jump. Oh my God, Finrich eating this man up.
That is destruction. That was just pure destruction.
That's amazing. Maybe because you can't run the fireballs like you'd like to set up. Like the neutral, probably a little bit less finicky or a little bit more finicky. I'm sorry for Chun-Li. Doesn't get the meaty. Maybe get the light and the medium right after.
Now, one of the biggest things I wanted to see is how often Finrich was gonna kind of blow up the neutral against a lot of Chun-Li's normals, right? Oh, the Lightning Beast still intact, so he's trying to get by, just trying to skate his way through. But Yokusen comes in though, fully intact. Moke being able to keep away from the corner and also keep away from the drive impacts, playing very well for himself while in burnout.
Mediums to mediums this time. Finrich able to interrupt with his crouching medium punch back. Medium kick the flip out, the throw right after it. Finrich knows what to do in the scramble scenarios. There's a crouching medium kick. We lead ourselves outside the corner. Pick up with the medium. Gets the side switch. Trying to go for the overhead. Beautiful interruption from Finrich. An overhead again. He's able to win with more tools. Now, Lightning Beast time to feast on this man's health. There's an opening.
Goes over with the rainbow ball, and I like that too, just to get himself out of the corner. But if it's not one corner, it might be another. Instead, it's going to be the punish counter with the DI coming in now. 1-2. No super. Fireball to follow through with it. Oh, we could have picked him up with the level 3 if you wanted to.
That would have been critical, but now he's off life support. The overhead lands again. Finrich has been opening this cat up continuously in the variance of how he's coming through. Am I going for the low? Am I going for the overhead? Gonna go for the throw. He established early in the set. Everything's connecting for him. And usually, I feel like Moke is the type to get that follow up with the fireball. I feel like if there's a cat that's going to do that,
yeah, man,
it's going to be Moke, but that shows it's just so much going on that he's not able to get that pickup like he'd like to.
I'd imagine he was in fear of maybe the Blanca ball, hence why he was a little bit pensive. But I feel like he'd still be able to react to it. Like Moke, he could be ready for both, right? I don't think it's like mutually exclusive to be ready over one over the other, because at the end of the day, you could hold back, you could even crouch, and then I think either level 2 or level 3 would both be within range to pick up. But I'd have to check out the replay again. Maybe I'm crazy. Who knows?
I mean, it's hard to tell. Even at that space, maybe he didn't want to go for like drive rush, medium, or stay fierce. I'm not sure, but like still, if there's a chance for pickup, I feel like he would take that. And I feel like at least there's like a good 70% chance to take that. And I think that shows that how smothering Finrich is. We've seen that before. So I'm willing to think that Finrich is so smothering that it put Moke off his game, because we've seen that before. We have historical data from that. We have the data of them playing before and Finrich taking that W. And it's looking like it's going to happen again. He said he wanted to win with more tools. We see more of these overheads, lightning beasts as well. Even when he's in burnout, being able to apply the pressure and keep Moke on his toes and open him up continuously has been the name of the game. I feel like Moke's not been able to establish anything. You can't throw out the fireballs because, as you mentioned, there's many anti-fireball ways, the slides, rainbow ball at certain distances. And then when you try to dash in against and like get a throw or whatever, he's got the TK Oki Blanca ball. It's like, dang, bro, I'm trying to get my Oki on. Like you said, it was my turn.
Yeah, I hate that interview, by the way. That interview was so funny.
It's actually terrible.
It's funny, but it's just so frustrating, man. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You're a grown man on talking about like getting your turn back. It's just, come on, son. Wild.
You pay taxes, you act like that, like anyway. But still,
That's
like,
what I'm saying,
we'll
man.
see.
He's a grown adult.
He's screaming like that.
Uh-huh.
What do you think? What do you think Moke should do in this situation, though? If you can't throw out the fireballs, like, what do you think Moke should do? If you can't throw out the fireballs, what normals are you using to reassess?
The stab button, man. Like I think forward and back medium punch have always been the go-getters. They've always been the go-to. They've been the breadwinner in almost every game. I think that handshake is so detrimental to a lot of players. I want to see that a little bit more often. I know it sounds simple, but let's see how effective it is going into the next game. Don't really need to highlight it right now. Taking advantage, yes sir, of the throws and the situation. Back-to-back throws, do it again. Good anticipation for the whole team. That was so good. That's what I'm talking about. Moke putting himself on.
Very smart stuff. You already saw that ODTK block ball come through. He said, never again, not me. And the proper distance to punish. Now the pickup. Medium fierce. Dash up throw. Punish counter as well. Overhead not landing. Light kick right after. Then we get a little bit of turn ceiling coming through. Stand fierce. Oh, he's right back in. Catches the crouching medium kick. Little punish counter too as well. Perfect parry. He said, nah, I'm going to be the perfect parry around here.
Oh, he mistimed the jump, Finrich. Actually, no, he might have just gone for like an empty jump, and the normal was just too slow, hence why it was a counter poke, a counter hit. Oh, you gotta get it. 100%. 100%. Big adaptation. Now, it's wild. The first game was just a blow up, right? There wasn't really much to assess in that game. But the second one, I think in return, forcing the big errors against Finrich was very vital. Was very much so prominent in that round. That was actually really, really well done.
Finals openings too as well. You know, we saw the 2K Blanca ball get blown up, and now the overhead. Every entry point denied now. Okay, using that handshake as you mentioned, even the light as well, to stop him from coming in.
Can you hang? Can you continue to do so? This is the problem. Finrich now on the aggressive. Oh, that was slick. Yeah, that was roundhouse. Definitely heavy kick coming in from Finrich. He tried to anti-air it.
Stomp though. Good tech from Moke. Leaves himself outside the corner now. Partially way to success. The handshake. Let's make a deal. Better for me, the whip punish. And be able to get the level 1 right after. He read the patch notes, crouching medium punch, easier to deal with. Finrich and burnout. Moke with bar. Doesn't have to overextend to get the win. Can use the Udi fireball if need be. A normal one. It's just fine right here. Drive rush. Udi legs, chipping away.
Oh. No way. You can drive it back? Oh my lordy. Moke. I don't know if that was reaction or not, but the level 1 was his saving grace. Good call out. Amazing call out.
The bar just in time. Had the bar at least. In his pocket for the rainy day. Light gets the counter conversion. I like that. I guess that's one of the stride rush that we've seen here from Finrich. Throw right after, caught him tap and parry. ODTK Blanca ball does hit back to mid-screen. Side switch. The Blanca bite. interruption again. If it's not spaced out well, if it's not meaty enough, if it's not the proper timing, you're gonna get jabbed out. And the counter that she gets right after is significant. One touch with the bar at the bottom, Kristen out that soak tits, the cross-up situation, a level 2 lightning beast again. He's got a reversal to play out here. If he's able to land one, for a button that gets blown up.
He committed to it. He committed to the low forward. He was convinced Fenrich was going to walk back, hence why that decision even came out. But I love that too. We talked about crouching medium punch being a nuisance. I like Moke finding the big counter to it, the crouching medium kick. Really well played before thrown out. Oh, he's going to do it again.
Please do. Walk back, stack step, crouching with the kick connects. That level 3, still down with that Soten. And Moke gets his revenge. Not only did he do so well in terms of dealing with like the drive rush, the TK Blanca balls for the most part, the space was fantastic as well. He dealt with the purple parries very well too. We saw tap parry inside of Fenrich get blown up continuously. Empty throws. And being able to take advantage when drive rush up with like a jab or a button was not real. He knew what to do. I think it's also an expert class in terms of like, if there's not a significant amount of range to drive rush up with a button, and you know that, you should be stuffing that continuously if you have the proper normals to do so. Moke knew what to do. He moves through. You see a lot of people complain about that, and it's worthy to complain about in some instances, but you gotta look at these top-level players being able to step out certain scenarios and say, this is not real. Like, stop. I'm gonna get a counter combo and route it in my favor.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty significant deal. I think like Chun-Li also has the tools to kind of provoke that kind of reaction too. It's like if you were Chun-Li, if you were a Chun-Li player, you'd be doing the exact same thing, and you have to be drilled to be doing the exact same thing and figure that out too. I think that's really, really important to note. I think a lot of the times Moke had been waiting for the aggression from Fenrich. There are moments where he actually got blown up because Fenrich actually got the first hit from the drive rush, etc. But Moke finding those moments again to utilize crouching medium kick the way he did was a fantastic example of when to stop somebody's momentum, or like how exactly to stop somebody's momentum. So that was really well played overall, man. I love the adaptation coming in from Moke.
Yeah, it could have been definitely a complete washing. Possible that we get another 20 to 25, depending what comes up. CAG Osaka, this is pretty good for them. I mean, I think on paper, you have the possibility of Goichi coming up on the Chun-Li, which I think does well against Jury, and the Akuma. Like, those are two good characters against Jury. Jury players have told me they don't really like that matchup. But I've watched Mago play that matchup, so these other players in CFN. I'm well informed of what to do against that character. He's been able to operate matchups that aren't so good for her overall. So it's going to be Goichi.
Goichi Chun-Li の登場ですが様子がおかしい。
Is he okay?
Why does he sound so serious? He sounded a little somber right there. Whose funeral is it? Is it for
I think he was trying to be like.
Mago?
I think he's trying to be intimidating. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
How could someone like Goichi ever intimidate anybody? You see that guy on the street? He looks like he's the nicest person. He'll walk you across the street.
I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it.
You wouldn't trust him?
Not me. I see that guy walking across the street, and I'm in the same sidewalk. I'm stopping where I'm at, turning around. I'll see you later. I'll find another route.
Go through the alleyway instead.
Yeah.
I do like this.
No way. He's gonna find you.
What do you think about this pick, though?
There's no way. Didn't you? You had mentioned this earlier, right? I think you were talking about how Jury players aren't really like total fans of facing off against the Chun-Li pick. I think Chun-Li does a pretty decent job again for this archetype. One, getting around fireballs is not going to be too difficult a task. I feel like she's got forward roundhouse as one of the tools. She has Hazanchu as the primary tool. I think the hardest thing would probably be what to do in the corner against Jury. I think Jury does have pretty good lockdown pressure overall. She also has very similar tools as Chun-Li in regards to like the standing medium punch. I think off of that, it's much harder to contest. I mean, he's talking the talk, but he didn't have the Terry. So I don't respect it, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're saying all this, all these like quotes from Terry and stuff. I don't see a single Terry. Koichi is unafraid, unfettered, and unmoved. Look at him. He ain't even blinking. He's just like, yeah, whatever, bro. Like, let's just play the goddamn set. All right, let's just run the set. Oh, I can't wait to see what Goichi says. But Mago says, so I played jury today, but don't forget, I'm a hungry beast, always ready for Terry. You're not trolling me. You're not getting me. You're not mixing me, Mago. You are not playing that character. You just not, bro. You might play him maybe a different day, but not today.
Do you think Terry does a pretty decent job against Chun-Li?
I feel like just like real crazy can't be right. Like the better normals, you got these long ass normals from her, and then you have her fireballs and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Actually, you know what? His fireball game, depending on, might not be that bad.
I think his fireball game is pretty good.
Yeah, it might be good against her, actually. But normals not so. I don't know actually.
No, I don't think his normals are that great either. I think his mediums are like standard size, right? Standard range. Like, if people ever kind of praise Terry's normals, it's kind of interesting. It's like, well, why don't you look at these other characters who have those normals, right? Like, I think his biggest drawback is having heavy normals that don't necessarily have the best range.
Yeah, they don't have the significant reward. You got to get close and personal, like the stand fierce and stuff. Right now, it's gonna be the jury. Ooh, as you mentioned, the forward heavy kick over the fireball. Get the punish count on that combo still skin up in the corner. That fireball pressure is going to be difficult to deal with. I think that's one thing that's going to be something that Mago has innately been able to deal with, like dive kicks and having the proper jump ins. But in a continuous first of three fashion, which is on the table right now, might be difficult as time winds down.
Look at the amount of control too that he can get also while in burnout. Finds a way out though. Down forward roundhouse just to switch the sides as well. Can't do much about the drive impact, had to absorb it. Does successfully get the drive gauge back. Nothing to it really, I felt like.
Mago's so good, bro. Being able to interrupt the overhand with the crouching light into the medium, counter and confirm, ends it with the super to seal the dang deal. This dude is ridiculous. To react to an overhead and get a proper punish. You see, it was also kind of planted 10 toes in right there. Heard that from happening.
Oh my god, dude. Want to talk about Jury's walk speed? I don't know what that was. He actually got a hit. Was he not a believer?
Like it's Sunday service, you gotta believe. Trying to dog walk into the corner, able to get the whip punish. Actually, we'll say it's a little bit more preemptive. Came out immediately after the Stand Fierce did. Stocking up properly up in the corner. We mentioned this, the corner pressure, the mediums, the fireballs, the Stand Fierce as well. Runs a dive kick raw. Potential kick as a rebuttal.
Up. Had to do it. Now, Mago is doing a great job too, like pacing-wise against Goichi. Some of these hits have been landing just at the right angle. And man, what a commentator's curse. I gotta stop. I really gotta stop. He had the hit, right? He had the low forward and didn't do anything with it. That's... Oh, he's not dead. I lied. Oh, man.
You're fine. You're fine, Jeremy. You're fine. There
That's
it is.
That's because I'm from America. I don't have those, I don't have the EU commentator's curse power, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Mago takes the first game. Listen, Goichi was talking mad mess. He said, hungry beast, yeah? You're just a skinny-born man. You should have picked Terry. You're an entertainer. But this man is about his business. He stays solid. And Goichi with the miscalculation. You know what's wild is I feel like a lot of players are miscalculating their kills, as we saw at DreamHack with Punk twice, actually. Not being able to finish the job. I still think that's a thing in this season, man. It's hard because getting used to the scaling off a lot of things, especially for Chun-Li, where a lot of scaling has been applied in between her combos that she used for like pickups and stuff like that. We happen more often for her. Some reason why people have kind of dropped her or made it, said that it's a little bit harder for her to be piloted. But even the best have issue with that.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, how was that whole ordeal? Watching a level 2 not kill. To be fair, that was really close. That was insanely close.
Yeah. What's wild is like in my brain I was like, this is not gonna kill. I was like, just like that, it's one more touch, and then Puck was already out of the seat, and then it's hard. That super doesn't really kill that often. Then even with the punish counter damage, not enough. But that does happen to a lot of players. We see that here at the league where they miscalculate. It's like a one-touch scenario right after, and leaving anybody alive in this game is critical not to. So I feel like with the replay takeover will help a lot, but you'll still see a lot of players still have ingrained things in their brain because they've been playing these characters for like a whole season, and they think something will kill and it won't still, and they'll go for certain routings, and then you cannot leave someone like Mago alive. We've seen how he's able to clutch it out. Even the first round, he interrupted the overhead, got the counter combo, he was like situated right there. He was looking for that option to have a punish right after. Like that guy was hunting to punish an overhead. You cannot play with the 2D guy.
No, you really can't too. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I thought level 2 Hoyoku-sen from Goichi would have killed. I'm sure Goichi must have felt the exact same way as well, but fact of the matter is, Mago's been doing a great job of like finding the right spaces consistently with both like the walk speed and low medium kick against Goichi that it's caught him off guard. But one other thing is keeping the control of not being tempted to throw out like a fireball or not relying solely on that to encroach on the spacing. It's been a very refreshing match thus far, but as he starts off, yeah, I like that OD fireball to start things off.
Drive rush medium right after. Catching Goichi lacking. Oh, careful now. Easier to whip punch that crouching medium kick for much of the cast this season. Jury especially. Oh, try to catch him with the DP. Good idea, but just maybe not the right one or the right timing.
That was actually a lot of damage for that last instance coming in from Mago. For what it was. Oh, trying to scratch the claws. Drive reversal against the attempted meter. Okay.
Silk up in the corner, the man of defense. Been blocking like a pack of Legos. However, Mago breaks it down with the medium, ends the round 2 as well. He understands what this character can do up in the corner, but his own corner pressure, innate corner pressure, is really good. The timing is really good too as well.
Man, that exchange opening up a lot for Goichi. Hoyoku-sen this time. We're gonna get the quarter carry. It's a matter of, okay, I don't know what that was. I've never seen him drop that ever in my life. He did early jump fierce. It lets me think maybe he was trying to do like a different type of setup, maybe like a fast frame kill to like trick Mago perhaps, but all that for nothing. Level 3. That was very confusing, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie and say I've seen that setup before from Goichi, because I never have ever. So I don't know. Someone could give me the benefit of the doubt in chat, but I will say Goichi might have just messed it up. That could have just been. That's just me. From my perspective, though.
But I think if it is a setup or a setup to have nothing behind it and put yourself in the corner like that, it's still very, very unfortunate, and it's still a big mistake. Big enough to be the same in terms of like obviously dropping it and not having the follow-up confirm or whatever, or the empty low throw, whatever you want to do right after. And for Mago to take that and run with it also shows that he is next level. Look at Goichi in thought right now. Mago don't even need to go to the Terry, bro. This is not looking so good to Goichi. Man, it's not only just that mistake, but I feel like Mago makes the most of the corner pressure that Jury's known for. And his maintenance with the characters very well. Like, he knows when to have drive gauge. He knows when to expend. He knows what he can expend. Round start OD fireball to drive rush medium, for medium, I should say, is expensive, but he got quite a bit off of it. So he knows when to expend that bar, when not to, when to hold onto it for the corner, use like OD fireball for the pressure, staggering the stand fears in between every so often. This guy's good. He knows how to pilot the character very well. Like, it's not just Goichi making mistakes. Mago's playing very, very well too.
Yeah, Goichi's got to pick it up after this, man. I got to say, they're both very well-talented players. They're household names at this point, which is going to be like something we're going to expect throughout the entirety of Street Fighter League. So that point is kind of moot. But again, man, Goichi having that last play was just so questionable. If you're feeling like Mago right now, or if you're thinking about Mago, you got to be feeling pretty good about yourself being 2 games up. This could potentially be the big rebuttal for Team VARREL, right? Just looking at the current season, right? They're trying to get as many points as possible. They're at what, the bottom right now with not too much to their name. I'm waiting for the thing to load. Actually, I was looking at the sheet and the score, but the website's kind of like flubbing up a little bit. But with all things considered, VARREL 100% needs as many points as possible considering their current positioning.
Yeah, 40 would be 125, I believe. Yeah, so if they get the 40 bomber right now, it'd be 125 because they're at 85 right now. That wouldn't shoot them above CAG OSAKA because they're second right now with 135. But that's very pivotal for the rest of the season, right? Like, this is a huge statement to start off the second half of the season, being able to surpass them. And also, CAG leaving with nothing after as dominant as they have been throughout the entirety of the season, besides a few falteries here and there, is, again, why you cannot call Street Fighter League, no matter which one it is. So, that's cool. I mean, that's cool in terms of like the amount of games that we get, in terms of like the energy that we get, in terms of the quality of the competition. But right now, it's looking like an absolute beatdown from Mago.
We've seen that kind of start happen in the previous matchup, right, between Crazy Raccoons, Bon Chen versus Ryukichi. There's still going to be plenty of chances for Goichi to possibly get this big W. But as it stands right now, we're going to be taking a little bit of a technical pause for the players to kind of reassess. But I got to say, man, I still like Jury. I think we haven't seen a lot of Jury players, funny enough, despite her still being a very big contender.
She's very good. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Oh, well, you know, only Uma, whatever, and Jack, and a few others like that have been piloting this character. She's good. I think she just takes work in a way that people don't know how to utilize or take a little bit more time to, like with the drive gauge. You know, she's been a maintenance character in 5. She's like that in 6 in a way with the Fuhaj and sock ups with the drive gauge as well. You can't just be expending drive gauge all the time. That's how it was in the beginning. Now you see them having to ideate when they can dash up and then drive rush. Like you see Jack do a dash up, then drive rush, or like Mago out here. He's going for certain sequences that end in a certain way, so he doesn't have to use his drive gauge until it's used for OD fireball or up in the corner for the drive rush conversions to kill. I think the character's still fine. You know, there's some pivotal matchups that she does lose, and I think against some of the top tiers, she does kind of falter a bit, like Akuma and stuff, but even then, I feel like it's not so hard for her to fight those matchups that she is like, don't ever pick up this character kind of thing, right? No character was like that in 6, but even more so with her. She's still really good.
Right, and I agree with that again. I think Jury is definitely enough to kind of contest with like the rest of the meta, which is, again, we'll see it. Maybe we'll see. Maybe Uma is practicing in secret. You know,
in the background, he never left. If I was him, I'd stay out. But anyway, Mago says he'll leave the charge with this character either way. Walk up throw, looking to do so against CAG OSAKA's Goichi. It's game point for him.
Look at the pacing too. Trying to get things going with a low medium kick, but it's Goichi trying to weather out the storm. It's a battle of attrition too. Mago is looking pretty, I was gonna say pretty dehydrated up until this point. Man, He's getting some of the big openings though. Cross cut, make him pay the fee.
Pull some of your life. Stocking up with the proper distances is Mago. And it's while he's been able to get a lot of these Fuhajins off. No interruption here from Goichi. Does get the side switch. I like that. Bad pickup. Got bar at the bottom. Won't use it just yet. One more touch scenario. Mago striking back for medium. And the extension. The throw right after.
Oh, if he gets a hit into level 2, I think he's gonna kill. Oh, he doesn't need it. It's a tick throw scenario. That was actually a beautiful time to actually get that tick grab. Crouching jab, wall and burnout. Get a slight walk up 2 for the counter hit. Pretty well done.
Well, 3 to start things off. The bar back. Very expensive, but Goichi goes for it immediately. Surprised it was a level 2 though to set up like a safe jump scenario or more pressure. A lot of bar expended.
Right, that makes sense.
Mago.
It's terrifying too. The defense that Goichi kind of like shows off. Man, that was such a sharp angle. Overhead connects.
Well, the jump actually worked out.
Yeah, what a sharp angle too. I think that's like one of the bigger weaknesses that Jury has too. Being able to like consistently uppercut at the right angles have been so difficult.
Especially in the court, if they try to leave, you have to like really back walk more than you would like a Shoto. Walk up throw, perfect parry on the incoming drive rush for a medium. Side switch right after it. He delays these pauses every so often to catching Goichi unaware though. Perfect parry, the punch right after. Resets with a throw. Go kick something after it. If you would have got that buffer, if you would have got that damn buffer.
Oh my
Get the
God!
shimmy though. Even better. Still going. Watch the cutscene.
Damn.
Level 3.
That was soft. Did you see that? He spent the rest of his bar too. Not even just the bar, but the Fuhajins. He spent all 3 of it on the last 3 kicks to make sure the damage is there to ease up his way into level 3. That was sick. That was some sauce. This guy, Mago, is a showman. That was tight.
So I'll show you an entertaining match right there. 3 games straight from the non-Terry player. Goichi, salt on his face. Might be salty too. Again, just how he's able to use those resources, as you put out at the very end, dumping everything out, but to be able to have those resources up in the corner position continuously is why he's able to get the victory so often. This is how you have to play Jury. A lot of Jury players do not do this. They drive rush too much. They don't have the bar to have these follow-ups right after. Look at that. Dash up, slight stagger, just a little bit to put some hesitation, and that allows for this throw to whiff. He's able to get the hit and the punish right after it. Punish counter, even better than having an interruption or counter hit. Be able to maximize the damage. Be able to dump out everything necessary. 40 points. 40 points from VARREL from the bottom.
That's what we wanted, man. We wanted to see it. We wanted to see some of these teams slowly start to get it together, and this is the best time to do it right after the 6th week. This is where it all changes up for you. Getting these second round robins, this is ever so pivotal. Excuse me. 40 points to 0. I still can't believe it went down in that fashion, considering how well CAG Osaka's been playing.
Fenrir's the only one to get a game. Only one to score a single game in his 40 bomber VARREL favor. It's good because I feel like, you know, when you look at VARREL, it's like, dang, I feel like a lot of it is Daikoku really being like at the forefront, but nah, I kind of wish CAG Osaka won just to shut Mago up, bro. You're not playing Terry, bro. You're not playing Terry. Stop mimicking or looking like Terry. Don't stop. You gotta prevent him from doing that. But honestly, as you said, why stop playing Jury? She's really good. Even the matchups where she's quote unquote bad, she's very, very strong still. That sort of play style.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Man, can you believe from the top 3 teams, again, the top 3 are currently sitting all at 135 points. Can you believe that one of them gets completely shut out? Like, that is some big implications right there. It allows for the rest of the teams to go in. However, in the upcoming match, the third one, Hiroshima Team Ikusa versus Yogibo Reject, this is kind of broken. This is kind of broken because it's first and third place respectively, despite the tie of 135, right? If one team or the other gets a big 40 bomb, that just skyrockets them so far ahead. However, if it ends up in a tiebreaker, which I would enjoy, I would love to see that happen. That would make it so crazy. That would be like best case scenario for Belc Favu Gaming.
I love how like it's not just your team's in their work and how they do determining how you are in the standings. It's how other things are placed everywhere else with these other teams too as well. That's what we mentioned. Every point matters. You want to be in that top spot as much as possible, be at the top spot, so you don't have to worry about, oh, this team's doing better, or this team moves here or there. There's like a shuffle scenario where you could drop down. Even if you have been doing fairly decent, you want to do the best. These 40 bombs hella matter. Having as many points hella matter out here. And again, VARREL, fantastically done. Daikoku wasn't playing today, but I think they've been leaning on him quite a bit. It's good to see them be beyond just Daikoku and his victories in Mago every so often. They've definitely all been showing out today. Daikoku does say, though, really moved by this game's team play, literally crying at the return of Moke. Daikoku, next time you stream, I'm going to have to ask you for real. Really crying, bro? I don't know. But it's good to see Moke back in business. Yeah, I'll be there for a second. Not even for a second. Wouldn't be so I say, though.
I don't know, man, but he's being a little goofball, and we appreciate that. This was Moke's first big W, right? Yeah, looking at it, this was his first actual big W within regulation that didn't happen to be in the sudden death match. So I'd imagine he's feeling pretty confident about himself. Mago, on the other hand, I feel like hasn't really played as much overall. But let's take a look. Let's kind of double check. So he hasn't played as much. But he has quite the impressive record. Going into it, he was 3 out of 4. Actually, I lied to you all. He played almost 4 weeks straight. Week 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn, he's having a good. Raccoon! This guy's weird, man. But the only time he lost was against Crazy Raccoon. Lost against Kazunoko. But finding this rebuttal was pretty significant. Also with Anchor Spot too, this was amazing. I think this is his first time in the Taicho, the general spot, in the Anchor Spot, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, 4 out of 5 wins. This guy is truly playing like a captain.
2D God, they don't call him that for a reason, you know, like Mago being so aware, and I feel like when you watch his play, it is like the template of how to play fighting games just in general, not just how to play the character, how he was ready for the drive rushes, how he's explaining the bar. He understands the gameplay system and how to utilize them in the right sort of way. So Mago says he's really happy for the 40 points. Was helped by Moke from the YouTube shorts he makes. What? Moke makes some learning shorts. Actually, Moke does make some shorts and like Twitter clips on how to teach.
Yeah.
What is this guy? Bro, what is this guy?
Yeah, Moke's been doing that a bunch. Yeah, I remember that. He's also posted a lot of those shorts onto Twitter as well.
Yeah. Good chill right there. Mago, he says, next up is our reject. And Lashar is just too strong. We should really be aware of the Ed that he plays. I like that they said the Ed that he plays. His Ed is strong, but I feel like it's Lashar that's really showcasing what that character can do. I mean, obviously Fudo's good. Momochi's good, but when you utter Lashar's name, you see a lot of fear from the players from around the world.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's a fair assessment. Lashar has been quite the interesting topic, I feel like, across every community that we've kind of like been able to experience some of these Street Fighter 6 gamings. I think his Ed understands a lot of different scenarios and what exactly to do in those scenarios to create an awkward situation for the opponent. And also, his damage output is like so optimal. I don't understand how he gets some of these big opportunities so consistently, but when he does, man, you could expect big damage or some really intimidating Oki afterwards where you don't even know what buttons to press or even what to think about. So, Lashar, he's going to be one of those problems next week for Team VARREL. We'll see how it plays out. Upcoming next, though, for this week, Hiroshima Team Iguza versus Yogibo Reject. That's going to be coming up.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what happens in this next upcoming match. Last time, Hiroshima Team Iguza really made a statement and beat Yogibo Reject 30-10. You want to keep up with everything again at Capcom_esports or @_St. Cola @FishFTC. Want the latest and greatest on everything Street Fighter and more. But yeah, going back to the last match, last time they played, it was Iguza beating Yogibo Reject. We'll see if it happens again. And we're going to see some really cool things. Man, this is so cool. Being able to be your character and have some art style behind it from all these great VTubers, these new people coming into the scene, and if not just new, or people really just deeper enjoying what's going on with Street Fighter 6. I love this collab. It's super sick. I hope to see more of this going on.
渡田ひばりさん、宇佐美リトさん、稲見来さん、椎名結花さん、奈良香さん、100万点バラサロメさん、そしてソフィアバレンタインさんの8名。
We currently don't really get to see it too often, right? We don't get to see a lot of the VTuber action as often. Excuse me, my mic was muted because I was coughing up a storm a little bit earlier ago. But it's really interesting to see what the longevity is going to be like for the whole thing with Street Fighter 6 and to see like how much more of the audience is really going to be in tune with it. I think the whole craze with VTubers has been a very enlightening one. I'm starting to like slowly come around to like really watching some of the VTubers right now. I'm getting introduced to like HoloLive as we speak. But I will say this, man, it's been very fun to watch how much of the fans pick up the game afterwards, or how much of these VTubers continue on with the game. So it's going to be a very interesting route to see it all happen before our very eyes as the game progresses, as some of the DLC comes out, because again, there's so much to look forward to in regards to like what announcements are going to be made and also the events that are going to be happening. We have so many CPT events going on, and the first time ever that Capcom Cup is going to be in Japan, let alone out of California, right? Majority of the times it's been, since its inception, it's been in like San Francisco, then moved down to LA. But yeah, you can see it right here with the big collabs. You get a lot of these icons as well. It's really cool. I actually want to see what these icons are specifically and how to like get access to them. So yeah, I would love to see if that's part of like maybe Twitch. It does say YouTube on there. I'd imagine it's like if you tune into YouTube, then you'll get something. But I don't know what that is. So I would love to figure it out, but I'm sure you have that answer. Put it out on Twitter. Let the universe know. We'd also let them know that Hiroshima Team Iguza is going to be facing off against Yogibo Reject as our final match. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
再開予定時刻は約10分後の21時23分頃を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Here comes a new challenger! Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics!
さあ重要なマッチアップ、歴史ある両名の対決。後ろ投げでのこの画面足はキャンセルした時と
おい
これ手数を警戒してたか。ジャストパリ、これは大きいぞ。なるほど時々
この状態の数の押しは強いです。
おお、
ちょっとだけ出なかったか。
まあセットプレイ。
ここで太いの当たってた。
でかいのきましたね。いいね。
はい。いいねいいねいいね。
さすらいしてる。おお、そうだよね。これ先端だと届かないんですよ。
そうだね。
どうする？おお、さあタイルリーダーと時々。しかし SA ゲージの差では数の子が勝っている。
わあ、
ぬるっときた。からに陣雷からダメージを奪っていく。投げ1回受け入れると次受け入れられないようなタイプになりそうだが、インパクト素直にきた。これ足りそうだぞ。OD 陣雷。
やっぱインパクトなんだよな、このゲーム。
ポンジにはインパクトってことなんですか。
でもインパクト2回はすごかった。
最後はインパクトでしたね。お互いに1年前からインパクトをこのプレイヤー通るなっていうふうに確認したから認識したと思うんですけど、1年後にやってもやっぱりそうでした。
Back with the final match of the day, Hiroshima Team Itsuka versus Yogibo Reject. My name is Seiko. I am joined with Vicious, and this match is going to be an absolute banger above the qualification line. Are both these teams. Let's start off with Hiroshima Team Itsuka, the heavenly wind, always getting in with that Lily. And always put the command grabs on many players. It's Hibiki, proving that the character can definitely still cook. Now, what's in the kitchen? It's going to be Neon Genesis. Get in the mech. The Kari coming through. We'll see what the Aki do. And that poison play as well. After that's going to be the Fighting Spirit Jazzy. Yo, happy birthday to him, by the way. Recently was his birthday. Has the Akuma and might be coming through in terms of the fights. Now, lastly, but definitely not least, the Magician Aqua, thirsty for a win and thirsty to defeat his competition. This team has been at the top spot quite a bit, has dropped just a little bit, but still, in terms of points, is still there with 135, a little bit lower the differential, but still absolutely fine.
We're looking forward to seeing how much they've improved since the most recent World Warrior, but going into it right now, they got Yogibo Reject in front of them. One of the most intimidating teams thus far because of the sheer fact that they have such a very diverse roster. We've talked about it before. Guess what? We get to talk about it again. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the guys currently in first place with 135 points, Yogibo Reject. Starting things off with the Korean golden finger that is Lashar, the most feared man in the streets currently amongst Street Fighter League Pro-Japan, and that is a known fact. Coming in with the blessings of the High Priest, Torimeshi, one of the most dominant Dawsons we've seen thus far, followed by the man with many fans. What was that, actually? I want to know what that whole thing was. But yeah, lightning fast coming in from Akira. I actually never heard the announcer say that before, but that was interesting. The fighting game scout, but also the actual genius that is Tokido. That's going to be the captain for Yogibo Reject. Again, quite the squad. We talked about this before, man. Only netting 135 points to their name, but still in dominant fashion, being in #1. Easily the most talked about for a handful of different reasons, but one of those reasons being my man Lashar.
We'll see if he comes through. I feel like today he kind of should, maybe for the anchor match. Speaking of matches, we got Blanca, Lily, and Anki. Overall, I feel like this is good, but also on paper not so good. In terms of like the characters that could come up, Tokido could come up with the Ken. For Hibiki's Lily, could be Akira, or maybe Akira could come up for Hikaru, or maybe Lashar comes up for like that run back. So we'll see what happens though. Again, what happens on paper doesn't always happen in the match. And again, play styles definitely differ, and that also colors how matchups go. So it'll be hard, but Hiroshima Team Itsuka's been here. They've had matchups where they're not so favorable and still been able to work. Lashar comes up first. You know what? Throw all my predictions, all my assumptions out the window. Strange.
I thought it was going to be the run back. I genuinely thought it would be the run back against Aki. Maybe it's something he doesn't enjoy, or maybe they're trying to find ways to possibly ensure the points. Who knows? That is tough. I actually don't even know if... I don't know what the strategy or the reasoning is behind Lashar going up against Ed, but let's talk about it a little bit. Ed versus Blanca. What are your thoughts on the matchup?
It's got to be good for Ed. You know, you can outrange that crouching medium punch. That's such a good harassment tool for the character. I feel like if you're on point with the aerial approach, obviously DP has a lot of range. If it does hit against something Blanca ball, shenanigans that you would see. And the variance of the fireballs makes it hard for him to slide unless he's at a perfect range to hit the spark. But I don't get to see it too often, so it's hard to read what could actually happen in terms of like having historical data. Whenever I watch like Nishikin play that matchup, he plays in such a wild way that it's either he makes them explode or he explodes. Like, if you get him in the corner, level 2 can help out. A little mini-me as well. That definitely can help out against the slower reversals and some of the slower buttons that are presented from Ed when he's up close. But like mid-range, it's hard for Blanca, I feel, to get in continuously.
It feels kind of volatile, in not just the matchup itself, but in terms of the results. I think Blanca still does a pretty decent job within the meta, but going up against Ed, I feel like is a little bit uncomfortable. Right? We talked about how much control Blanca can have against like some of the fireball characters. Ed's not necessarily that guy. he's like Fireball 2.0 because of the addition of Flicker, right? I think a lot of the times too, the mid-range control that Ed possesses stuffs a lot of what Blanca is trying to do in the neutral. So perhaps maybe, if I'm thinking to myself, part of the team, it's like, all right, how do we guarantee these points? Maybe we throw in the Ed to like really secure it, because Blanca, just thinking about it on paper, it feels like Blanca's not gonna really be able to do much on paper.
Even more so like at first set 2, I think that also kind of helps him kind of, if he wants to kind of prevent the mauling, get the mauling on as well. I mean, Aqua even himself said, I didn't think Lashar would come up. He was thinking what character to go with, but he thought Blanca would be better than most characters. I do think though, if you're gonna run the Blanca or JP, I'd probably run Blanca over JP. Yeah, you have the firewalls at JP, but like the buttons you utilize are, you gotta get tagged a little bit more often because of the nerfs that have happened to JP previously. And Lashar isn't the type to really jump, so that crouching fierce buff isn't gonna really matter too much. I guess I would prefer the Blanca here, but again, Aqua didn't know what was gonna happen. Lashar, as you mentioned, maybe trying to come up here for the points. I think that really matters. So here we go. See what happens.
This really is going to be quite the development. Aqua versus Lashar, game 1. Different color too, okay.
Feeling different ever since that drive rush medium kick in the DP. A changed man. Perfect parry does land though. Slide applied. What's next? Drive rush. No bait. Actually, I hit with the ODDP. I don't know what he did, but his punish counter wakes up with a slide. They are brawling.
I think that was a punish counter too. Against the Psycho Spark.
Mentioned that before. Well done, Aqua. However, it's getting done in.
Again, the mid-range control. We literally just talked about it. Correct medium kick, checking the advances from Blanca. First round of Lashar.
It's a clean, pristine player, man. Nothing of the crouching medium punch. I'm surprised here from Aqua. Don't give any chances to land your buttons in this matchup, it feels. Gonna make the most opportunity happens, and too far out to even apply negative frames. Take a little bit of drive gauge away. Lashar too far out in the distance. Now has him up in the corner. Dash up twice for the throw.
Oh. Flicker around, dance a little bit. Lashar's keeping it very, very difficult to track down what he wants to do, what the what the counter should be, really. Yeah, there's just so much pressure within that space too. Lashar just covering all ground. Aqua's looking rather stumped. I wouldn't mind the JP switch. I genuinely actually wouldn't mind the JP switch.
Actually, yeah. This is looking a little bit too difficult to run the buttons. With the fireballs behind it, it might help out. Like, I feel like, Ed, if you're going to give him any sort of trouble, you kind of need fireballs to initiate. Unless you're, I guess, Chun-Li. You have, like, things like Plazanchu, or, like, good anti-fireball tools. But he sticks with it. All right. Let's see if Aqua got a strategy, because he is getting got continuously. Look at that. Interruption. Drive rush behind it. Knocked down with the Cycle Blitz was after it. A throw. Now you're up in the corner. Still got a lot of bar to utilize.
I feel rather uncomfortable seeing this Blanca up again, not gonna lie to you, man. I feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's just so difficult, right? I think, like, for someone like Aqua 2 to kind of manage this is very, very interesting, because Lashar has been, I feel like, low-key one of the best that we could really ask for. He's traveled to a lot. He has got, like, world experience, world-class experience from all over this season.
All right, Aqua. It's level 2. The throw right after. More solid interaction. Punish gonna throw with a kill. Back medium kick. Hella plus. There we go. Chip this man out continuously. Watch over the bar at the bottom, though. Interaction. Oh, the neutral jump. Oh, points the OD. Hits him with a level 2. You're on borrowed time. You're not fine. This dude, Lashar. Oh my God, Vicious.
I think that was Aqua's fault. I think that might have just been Aqua's fault. The ball was just timed too early because Lashar was already in the air. He was trying to react to it.
Yup. The reward though from Lashar is, as mentioned, he's able to deal with the damage at every interaction. I've never seen people complain about the damage at Ed until Lashar started playing this character. Interruption. Has him up in the corner. Lashar with the lead. No back throw. He avoids it. Get to level 2. It's the objective here for Aqua. Build that bar for that level 2. Get aggressive. Try to even
Initially,
things
he
out.
was hounding for
Get
it.
a lead. Yeah.
Oh, we do get the big opener. Not going to be able to kill with that initial combo. What a time to OD uppercut.
Defend. No, it's a back
Nice
throw.
work. We'll 100% take that as Aqua. Very expensive round, but we'll absolutely take it. Now, what's going to be the big rebuttal? Aqua's done a great job of keeping Lashar on his toes.
A lot closer of a game too as well. He knows he can't like outspace him in the mid-range, so he has to get in to get aggressive. Sharp puts a full screen with the fireballs too as well for the follow-up. Drive rush, lights, knocking on the door every so often. My set, crouching, heavy kick in the drive rush as a whip punish. Stand meter kick as well. Uh-oh. Level 2, with the side switch here or go for the corner carry?
Dude, he delayed the hell out of that too. That is so difficult. That is actually insanely difficult. He went for the full Shin Dream. And he built himself
another
a level 2
one.
skill. This guy is so good. He is so insanely good. So I was looking at the activation timing. I'm like, there's no way he got it, right? That felt a little delayed. There's no way he got it, right? He did. He got the 2 big activation points. On the second to last frame is the activation of level 2. And also being able to hit the uppercut at the right timing. This guy he's insane. What a player.
It's not, I'm telling y'all right now, it's not just Ed. Ed is strong. Him piloting Ed is strong, but it's Lashar as a damn player, bro. He has always been clean and pristine in the way that he has been able to operate situations where they're given to him. Again, doubling the damage you'll typically see from Ed is because of how optimal he is. You're not going to see this so continuously from other players. They're going to be there in maybe other areas, but as consistently as him, it's a hard call, bro. And look at that, the shimmy, be able to seal another level 2. He built up another bar. With the scaling that's happened to the level 2, he already had another one extra in his pocket in terms of bar in general. Lashar, and this guy's super humble too. I messaged him after last time that he played. Every so often I talked to him, he was like, yeah, man, I'm just trying to keep up with the other players. I'm like, keep up with the other players? Do you know what you're doing? Do you see what you're doing on that screen? Always so humble.
I can understand that. I mean, like currently Lashar, he's trying to do his best currently in World Warrior. I actually don't know what his current standing is, but in regards to like a CPT atmosphere, it is a different story. I totally understand Lashar's kind of like outlook on it. He is doing immense work over in Street Fighter League. That is for sure. But we still have to see him like make it into Capcom Cup thoroughly. We want to see him kind of like do well at the upcoming Japan premiere. We want to see him do well at the Offline Singapore. Yeah, because he's just way too talented to not make it into Capcom Cup. All of these cats are truly, for sure. But I think Lashar, he just stands out, man. If I'm being honest with you, Lashar easily stands out.
Moving on, Lily versus Sim. I don't know how this matchup goes. Even looking at my notes, I don't have much on this matchup. We don't get that many Lily players. I feel like the last time I saw Tate talk about this, it was slightly Lily favored, but that was early though. That was very, very early in the seasons and things like that. A lot of things have changed on both sides for the characters in terms of how to play the characters. Also, some of the buffs that have happened for some of these characters. You know, obviously level 1 way, way better for Sim in many instances. Way more damage, chips out on block a lot more, harder to punish, and in some ways harder to actually deal with because it kind of rears back in a way. It's harder to just get in and jump in against the character. It's actually one of the best supers you can ask for in terms of like an anti-air, how it's been changed for the character. Other elements too, like punish counter, heavy kicks. So Sim has got some improvements. Will it boost him up the top tier?
Yeah.
No. Will it make him a more effective character, more consistent in his game plan? Yeah. But same with Lily. She can wake up with buttons a little bit better, stand light kick a little bit easier. And the way the game is, drive reversal and wake up helps out, and the nervous other characters help her out too. And Hibiki is just an absolute beast. It's in the name, bro. He understands what it takes to go for Oki or when to stock up.
Here's one of the biggest things that present the challenges for Hibiki. I think naturally as a Lily character or a Lily player, you would think to yourself a couple of things. How do I get in? And how do I charge up Winstock? I don't think she's going to have an easier time. I don't think she's going to have like a better time charging up the Winstock in this matchup, particularly because of Dawson's limbs, right? That's going to be one of the big advantages that Dawson has. If Dawson decides to throw a fireball, surely she could go into like Condor Spire and like blow through it if need be. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of moments where she's going to kind of use Condor Spire as often to get in, because there are moments I think where Dawson could kind of escape that. Whether he'd be preemptively in the air, teleporting, etc., or even like using float as a way to get around. So those are the primary tools I think of when it comes to Lily, is getting the Winstock, getting the Condor, and also using heavies. Dawson just outranges the heck out of her, right? That's going to be the blatant advantage that he has against the majority of the roster. This is going to be a very blatant experience, I feel like, for Lily. If Lily is not able to do damage up close, it's going to be very, very difficult. Also, a lot of the times, if you were trying to do a sequence into a tick throw, a sequence into command grab, well, guess what? Dawson has full control of his jumps, whether he wants to jump teleport, whether he wants to float, or he could even just jump dive kick or jump drill, right? That is something that a lot of the other characters don't get to do against Lily. So we'll see how that plays out. If Torimeshi can utilize all of these defensive tools against Hibiki and cause a bit of a problem. But already sniping out the foot, that's crazy. We just talked about it earlier. The float on wake up, avoiding the command grab. A pretty big deal. Hibiki already down a bunch on the drive gauge. Let it waste down a little bit. No, Torimeshi gave her another fireball. He could have actually burnt her out. Oh, what a snipe. What a call out. There's the command grab. Hibiki is very, very aggressive.
Again, he knows when to go in, when to stock up. Finds a crouch fierce, does not get the fall, but he'll take the trade, had that transaction. But wow, at the perfect distance to get that crouch fierce, we've seen him tag 2 limbs. He knows what to do against similar, like, at least in this like mid-range it feels like. But as we see more of these floats, it might be more difficult. But he's in now. Wild Horn ends it with a DP, dash up command grab, the Mexican Typhoon. We've seen Hibiki love these command grabs with this character. It's normal throws too as well. In again with the OD drive reversal, he burns himself out. On the back, he's got that level 1 again as like a defensive tactic against some of these jump-ins. Was the drive impact? Instead, you're dead. Catch the cutscene. Hibiki is, even though the players had said it's probably not good for Lily, you see something different on the screen, as you mentioned.
Yep. Very, very aggressive Hibiki. He's full understanding of like the normals as well. I think that's a pretty big deal. Oh, full grab, full screen, sets up for a fireball if need be, in which he does back to back, using the Comet as well. In junction with his fireballs, back to back roundhouses, hold the foot.
I like that switch up. The Comet from the skies. Buffer up to the medium. It's a drive rush right after, and the fireball. Pressure's trying to switch it up. There's the OD. When you have that win, it's easier to get in against the projectiles, and we see that here from a Hibiki. Tick, command grab, gets a grip. What's after it? Drive rush with the Oki. This time with the crouch fierce, instead of just going for the stock up. The anti-air is there. Yoga uppercut, and the Yoga back throw.
Oh. Dude, that crouching heavy punch was active so early that it traded. What, you command grab?
Command grab? What? Against a fireball? This guy's good. The spacing was a one-touch scenario. It may not matter. When he gets Sim a one-touch scenario, his game to win. It's Tormesh's game to win, though. You can bump into her and she'll die.
What a bait. Torimeshi. Thinking he was going the other side. You know, that's actually a fair read from Hibiki, thinking like Dawson would want to get out of the corner. Oh no. Not the flame into the heavy. That was actually insane.
Easier
the
this
burst,
season.
excuse me.
It's crouch fierce.
What am I saying burst? It's on the blast. My mistake. My mistake.
Blast in the... Oh, okay. It's early.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good call. Hey, it was only perfect parry damage. Not too bad. Not gonna really spend anything off of that. Oh, this trade is everything. That could have been so much more.
Drop a shot and do more. What if they're gonna kill? Back menu kick will though. Open him up. No, he dropped the combo. The flow and the Yoga Mummy wrap it up. Man, so let's finish this match, bro. Dang, that was a critical drop. However, he's able to save the day with the Yoga Mummy in play. Oh my, as you mentioned, being able to float and avoid these throws and these other scenarios too as well. Something that Sim can do. Game to game.
Oh, dude, I'm loving the pace that Tori Mesh is playing. That's so entertaining.
Very active, using the movement as also like a mix-up too as well. Am I gonna jump in with Jump Fierce? If I don't stick out a limb, you're gonna miss your DP, as we saw previously. Chill up in the corner, but Tori Mesh able to fight out, feeling very confident and comfortable. Oh, and the fake out with that teleport again. In the moment the teleport to be out the reaction, get the punish counter. Finesse and blast, level 1. Enough to get it done, even with the damage on that sucker.
Nice and easy, just jump back, landing on the Fierce too. Tori Meshi having a really great time in this matchup at the moment.
Perfect parries on the fireballs. Every so often trying to inch his way in to get in that proper distance to hit that crouch Fierce as we saw previously. Clipping the limbs, if you can read one of them. Trying to swing, does get the hit. Knocked down after a drive rush. Goes for the command grab right after.
Oh,
punish, yeah.
Oh, that was tough. She winds up that overhead, man. Animation-wise, it's still hard to tell what she's gonna be doing.
Almost looks like a stand Fierce. Oh, the heavy is ready. And we're switching
Let's
it up.
go, screen transition. I was waiting for that. Good call, production. I love that.
Ready
look at
with
the
it.
song switch.
Very good
That's
stuff.
what I'm talking about. The remix.
Gotta boost it up a little bit. That bar at the bottom. You'll hit the super. It does reach. I'll give you a jump Fierce to level 3 if that would have whipped. However, still in Hibiki. Anti-air? No, he's not even gonna go for it until it's properly done.
Oh. What a chase down two on the same side. Neutral jump. Hibiki takes it down. That could have been Tori Meshi. That could have been Tori Meshi all over it. He had 3 bars to his name. But it's Hibiki sticking it out against a matchup that's rather awkward. That was actually pretty fortunate for the side of Hibiki getting this big W. Now it's all down to this, right? 30-point ball game for either team.
Sometimes you see a switch of landscape to switch up the game plan. And he's able to land a lot more of those anti-airs. I feel like he's a lot better in terms of landing the anti-airs and staying nice and close and not falling and faulting to how Tori Meshi wanted to like utilize the movement, the teleports to bait things out at the very end. You see the perfect parries and stuff like that were definitely good. But there is some drops every so often from Tori Meshi. As you mentioned, a very awkward match, very weird. Both the players had said so too as well, but being able to land the command grabs, so these resets, is able to land the anti right there, and there's the jump in. Very well done from Hibiki, being able to take it in the very end. That's 10 to 10. The finality, Akita. It has to be Akita. I feel like Cammy is like one of her worst matchups in terms of like what Aki would struggle with. I feel like on paper I see a lot of them complain. I had the pleasure of, and unfortunately displeasure of playing a lot of the Aki players in casuals over the weekend at DreamHack Atlanta, and they were listing all the matchups they didn't like, and Cammy was definitely one of those. So on paper, this restart would be really good here to keep up with someone like Hibiki.
It's really up to Takedo. Yes, yes, yes. That's a good call. I like this call a lot. And I agree. As someone who's kind of like taking a dip into the Aki pool, I guess the kiddie pool, because there's not a lot of Aki players out there, right? I would tend to agree that Aki doesn't necessarily have the tools to stop a fast-paced character with a dive kick. I think there's a lot that also Cam can do to keep Aki in check with the bubble, staying within range to do a spin knuckle. So as slow as the bubble is too, it can be a little bit detrimental to what she wants to do against any character. Right, so Cammy having the tools of that, both the dive kick, spin knuckle, also with meters she could drill through. It could be a little bit problematic. I want to see whether or not this is going to be a test that Hikaru is already kind of like overcome. Like if it's something that he's already kind of put to the test in regards to like his training methods, right? I didn't get to check his stream last time, but I can't remember who he was playing up against. I think he does have like the Cammy practice on deck, but we'll see.
It makes sense. I feel like, you know, you have like some Kazunoko if you need to. There's many other players that are starting to play Cammy. Xiaohai starting to pick up Cammy too as well. Maybe playing that more than Ken. I think maybe Cammy and Bison is a rotation now. Karu played Kazunoko in that final game, that first one I should say, was only like, yeah, I think it was like a hit away or something. It was a weird interaction, and Kazunoko was able to take that. So that was the first one. I'm sure he has seen how strong the characters are reminded. And also, like, you probably play that matchup a lot more if you're on the weaker side of things. I'm sure Aki players, before they got all the buffs, were like, dang, this matchup sucks. I have to figure out where I have to stand and land against the dive kicks and things like that, how I can hit my stand against her dive kicks, or if I'm just going to hold that stuff. So we'll see what Hikaru's game plan is against Akira. Hikaru says, Hibiki did a fantastic job, so I want to win here and get 30 points to become first place. Akira says, I was the one advising Hikaru when he was 18. He was like, remember when I helped you out just a few years ago? Now you're drinking beer, you're 20 out here, you know, like 2 years later, you have to fight me. So he might know a lot about like his tendencies, so that may actually help out for Akira.
I thought Hibiki just turned 18 not too long ago.
No, Hikaru turned 18.
I don't know.
Oh wait,
maybe,
actually,
maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. They look so young, I have no
idea. I don't know. Yeah. Akira, the rest of it says, recently I was asked the question, how old would it be hard to reverse an impact? That was by him. That was Hikaru asked Akira, how old do you have to be in order to successfully reverse a drive impact? You youngsters, man.
He's spicy like that? Wow. Every time we talk to Hikaru, he's so nice and nonchalant. This guy's got words. He's taking throws though, punish counter as well. Oh, I like that. The cross up button to catch him lacking. Hits the counter. Light bubble, has the poison applied, so he's the venomous fang. Put on the poison again to loop the pressure. Plus, wait for the bust out. Nothing doing.
Yeah. Oh no! It whiffed? Yeah, that's very much so in tune with Akira, how he wants to play. Getting the OD uppercut out of there.
Lash. Going for the snake kicks. Light lash ender to apply the poison. The fact that we see so many poison like enders is so good from Hikaru. He wants that extension right after. He also wants the follow-ups to be nasty, but interruption from Akira preventing any of that from happening. Dive kick hitting nothing. Medium into fireball. Get the follow-up right there. Good awareness from Hikaru.
Out of there too, yes sir. Man, the chase down is absolutely real. This is the thing we talked about. Akira looking to chase it down, but no. Hikaru does get the perfect parry on deck. Back throw, set up bubble.
Crushing light kick opener. This should be the closer. Just the bar at the bottom, level 1. Yeah, that'll get it done. No 2 bars necessary. He's level 3 on the way. Yeah, we know what the opener is for you.
That trade!
What? The punish right after though for the Oki? This man's a man of tech.
That was actually kind of sick. What a thing to look out for too. I think he had to be on his toes for that one. Like he had to really think about the different types of openers that Hikaru kind of shows off. Oh, no throw, no rebuttal at all towards the green stuff.
Throw, light lash, let's put the poison on. Hikaru now looking so healthy. Drop gauge department 2. There's no shot, you did that! There's no shot! He baited out the jump! This guy is actually ridiculous. That's close to burnout. Dash up, delay, crouch, immediate kick, burnout city. On the Baroness, I'm putting you to rest. This man, reigning super, that is got, I listen, y'all in the restream, I gotta see a clip of that later. I want that hung in my mantle. I want to watch it over a fireplace, sip some hot cocoa, and reminisce on how godlike that was. The Speed Star.
Dude, he called out Hikaru on everything. From the beginning of the game to the very end. My man said, listen, I was the one that advised him before he became a grown man.
Eesh. It's a clap back here from Hikaru trying to get that W. Anti perfectly done, perfectly spaced. Drive rush in with the medium. Now we see that as a bigger starter here. Drive rush medium and the right timings at the very least, and good anti-air pressure. It's hard to anti-air with the character. Like if she whiffs, it's going to be very horrible for her, and obviously dealing with Cammy jumping in, as you see right now, was difficult, but I do like the fact that he's been good about it overall. Not so good about this. Let me show you how to get that drive impact as a punish. And the lessons on this cat.
Good call out against the throw. Akira will be able to seal it out. Not going to be standing up early for this one. Akira looking to get at least another game under his belt, getting him closer to the end goal. Oh, I don't know how that roundhouse hit. That was great. We'll take that.
Yeah, you'll take that. Perfect parry, the punish right after, nice and close. When they get close like that, perfect parry, you get the proper punish. It's a little bit farther out, like mid-range where it's not proper. And Akira knows. He knows like the range where he can kick back his turn. Hikaru switches up. Oh, the trade combo.
You still have the trade?
Lash. So I can do that too. This man's a man of the lab too. 10 hours a day of play.
Nice and easy finish. Level 3, no matter how you slice it, Hikaru is going to be on the board.
Evening the score. And also it feels like he's doing a better job of not following and faulting to like certain things that are getting him in trouble. Obviously that dive kick and the jump back and the reaction from Akira was above the pale. But even beyond other sequences and things like that, he is not following faulting to like certain drive rush elements. He's not kind of overextending himself too often. Yeah, he did that wake up level 1 but got punished. But overall it feels like he keeps the lead significantly, and it's Akira forced to turn up like volume. It's him forced to do something in rebuttal in response now. Went to shift in his favor.
Yeah. Despite some of the weaknesses in regards to like what Aki kind of presents, I feel like just out of neutral, the way that Hikaru's been enforcing as well has been so impressive, right? The threat of the big opener into big damage just like this. Not gonna go into level 1, the puddle still. Yeah, I like that bust out. Big risk being assessed from Akira. Yeah, I gotta say, Hikaru's done a great job of slowing the pace up again. Dude, that angle has been a big pain in Akira's side. That jumping down heavy punch angle.
What if it's because DP doesn't reach at that angle and Akira doesn't want to go for that distance? That cross-up button definitely working out more often than not. See, goes for it again.
The timing of it all too.
Right after. Oh, very smart stuff. Side switch with the super. Back in the corner you go.
Oh, is that gonna burn out? Not quite. Ooh, wee, the punish counter too. Crouching roundhouse has so much range to it. Are you? You're hella dead. Dear God Almighty! Punish counter? That was just one hit.
Whether it be crouching medium kick or heavy kick, hit confirms Hikaru have generally been his thing into like a super, right? Level 1 or like level 3, you see continuously. This guy's making the most of every moment. And Akira, he looking a little bit upset, a little bit lost. You know, he's supposed to be able to play the Speed Star Lightning game, but he's not been able to do that. it has been Hikaru being the speed bump with light lash at the proper distances, the right buttons, and keeping the lead and forcing him to get aggressive in a way where he wouldn't want to. Like, I feel like this is not the type of pacing or the entry points that Akira would like to present continuously, because he is dying to maybe counter hits, get the right proper timings. He's off his rhythm.
It feels that way, or it also kind of feels that Hikaru is not even giving him any music to begin with, right? There haven't been any real beats where Aki has been susceptible. I think he's kept it very ambiguous as to what his intentions are thoroughly, and also even at a like a micro or like a I want to say like a at a step away from it all. When you think about like the grand scheme of what Hikaru's trying to do, he'll play it lame. He'll have the life lead and throw out the bubbles and also throw out the puddles to see and force Akira to take to this guys and go for the dive kick. Hence why we've seen that kind of like trade-off happen a bunch of times over with Hikaru, and also the big punishes against the dive kick. So I think it's more so Aki being a big threat from further ranges that's kind of stumping Akira.
It's like outside of like dive kick range, you probably want to stand, like, and that's also good because you can hit the stand medium and catch the recovery of the dive kick. It does have a fat hurt box if you're able to properly capture that. But to get in that range and be comfortable in that range takes a lot of work. And it's not always perfect. Obviously, we saw, Fireball being perfect parried. We saw a punish right after from Akira, but Hikaru I should say, has been confident to go for those options, even if we do see a rebuttal. Even if we do see wake up TK dive kick from Akira, Hikaru was like, hey, cool, I'll take that. I'm not dead yet. I'm still going to strike back. He's like, okay, I'll get right back in. Let's go for my throw pressure. So he is still obstinate. He's still willing to get aggressive with it and still not willing to put things to the side or be fearful. I think that's putting Akira off his game. I think I do agree. It's like, dang, I can't even get anything started. The music hasn't even started yet. The band is late. Concert's supposed to be started at 10. It's already 12 o'clock, and it might be the end right here. It might be bedtime for Akira and his team, depending on what happens to Hikaru. Game point. Time did not work out. Unfortunate. Does get the dive kick, though. Gets a light lash. Hey, they gotta always be bangers, Akira. I get it.
This is the exact speed, exact pacing that Akira needs to be at right now. Again, and keeping it so ambiguous as well. Taking a page from Hikaru's book. This offense is really shining through for this cannon. The big jump in against the fireball, crouching heavy kick to bait out. Or sorry, to punish the bait out. Safe jump.
Very in play. Poison's also in play here. Again, walking back in the right distance. Wasn't able to get the punish from the dive kick. Able to cover in time. ODDP. Jump heavy kick now gets the fireball as the entry point. Gets closest, jump fierce. A lot more jumps, but cruel fate. Heavy lash. The cross up button for the back throw right after. Driver scratching mini kick. Hell up was. Akira respects the frames. Drive rush jab. Follow up for the finish. Set point. Hikaru.
Does get the tick throw. Akira, very, very deep dive kick. What a punish against the bubble, too.
Spacing that pushes you back out, but Akira's back in with the jabs. Counter hit. Spiral arrow right after the throw. This time a punish counter. Wake up super. OD hooligan to get in. Oh my god. It's a level 3 if need be. Akira turns it up.
Would you say that was a lot of incorrect guesses from the side of Aki or from the side of Hikaru?
I'd roll with that, especially towards the end. Especially up in the corner, like, they say, take the throw, but it's hard to continuously take the throw, not rotate your options. And usually you'd see something different from him, like snake step or like a neutral jump. He's not usually that pensive up in the corner.
I think there was possibly an attempt at like parry or like a snake step. I wasn't really paying attention to the meter, but I think he got punish countered for something in that last sequence. But man, already hounding down the drive gauge is Akira. The sword normal, the big counter from the crouching medium into level 1 now. This full sequence is going to be enough. Akira is looking at match point. He's looking to get 2 games straight.
Back in business. And better with the buttons and the aerial approach too as well. I think that also makes things a little bit harder for Hikaru to read. Like, she's been jumping in the skies, continuously jump heavy kick, further ranges, jump fierce too as well. The dive kick you have to worry about. Now the ODDP confident. If Akira is doing that, he is in his bag. Burn out, however, this is a Baroness. Don't let her get close. Medium lash, heavy lash ender, deep with the jump fierce. Chip all damn day. Drive impact could be coming through. Just has to wait for the right moment. What? The crouch fierce against the quick bait.
Oh, you are dastardly, Akira. You could get the burnout. He does force it. This is gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. Akira could spend one more set of bar. Level 1. And he gets it! He gets it all the way back! The big timeout with his teammates to get the 2 games straight and change the pace entirely against Hikaru. What a finisher! Yogibo Reject maintaining their first place position at the second start of the half. What a true speed star. That was phenomenal.
He's going the distance. He's going for speed. This cat has, you know, the wrong guesses and things like that, I think, for Hikaru were happening because the introduction of jump-ins at different angles, different ranges, along with the crouching medium punch game, the corner pressure as well. You saw him moving and grooving before the cruel fate even came out at one point. And there were some good moments. You saw the hit confirms here that were fantastic. But a lot of preliminary things from the side of Akira, just too fast to keep up with. And then you see the lacking defense from the character. And then up in the corner, the OD hooligan, I feel like that kind of broke him down a little bit. It's like, damn, you're presenting so many different options. The dive kick, the proper range. And again, when you can't ideate where the dive kick is going to come through, it's going to hit. More often than not, if you can't find that proper range to back up to hit that medium, because of the fact that they have such a strong ground game and a good aerial game, it's easier to hide that dive kick in the proper ranges for that to finally hit. And that's why he was able to finish off with the dive kick. 30 points. Yogibo Reject over Hiroshima Team Itsuka, and they're 10. And again, as you mentioned, retains their top spot. That's 165 points for them. For Hiroshima Team Itsuka, they walked away with 145.
That's kind of wild, but it shakes up the standings pretty significantly. Yogibo Reject, you just talked about it. First place still, Team Igisa. I feel like now in second place with 145, and OSAKA not getting any points this week. That was crazy, by the way. Still at 135. But I feel like overall, the standings should relatively kind of stay the same. The top 3 teams are still retaining their spot as the top 3 teams. Right, there was a moment where Crazy Raccoon could have had the big W's, but I think all things considered right now, Crazy Raccoon, VARREL, as well as Belc Favu Gaming, they're still going to be in the bottom half. But VARREL, I will say, like, as we kind of like get ourselves concluded, 125 to their name is a pretty big swing. Good for them, man. Actually tied with Crazy Raccoon.
Nice. Actually, that's amazing. Again, who can call who's going to take it? Who's going to be up in the standings, right? Like, who's going to be shifted around? We're imperative to get all these points early in the second half. Like, everything matters out here. So for them to get 40 and be more in form again without just Daikoku is really good. But same with this team, you know, in terms of being better and stronger, you know, it's not just a Lashar show. Obviously, everyone's afraid of Lashar. I like him going up, and I do think that that was the strategy early, was let us get some points on the board no matter what. Get those 10, no matter what. Lashar will get that win. We're fine. But then they kept going. At the very end, Akira being able to seal the deal. We're getting the interviews right here. Tokido says, really happy. I was thinking about the order until the last second. We knew Hikaru would go up for the anchor. Akira did a great job. Now, I want to drop a little bit of knowledge. Apparently, people were in Big Bird stream saying, and I don't know if this is true, I gotta go to Tokido's stream but later, or Ryukichi afterwards, had said that Ryukichi after his stream was thinking about other characters, and that Tokido was actually thinking about dabbling in another character, and he might be a part of the Ed Boys. He might be the Ed in there. So like this, so CFN stuff wasn't just Lashar playing on there. It might be Ed.
No, it was definitely Tokido kind of like practicing that as well. And that's been in the works for about like a week and a half. I think that has a lot to do with why Tokido decided not to step up to the plate today. I think at this point he could also just let his team do as much work as possible. going into it. I did misspeak earlier. Crazy Raccoon is technically at 130 because it was a 25-point battle. They did win the tiebreaker. That was my mistake. But yeah, they have 130 points to their name, so they're going to be retaining their 4th place against VARREL thus far. But as it stands right now, yeah, I think Tokido switching up makes sense. Ryukichi having another character does kind of make sense as well. The rest of the interview, Tokido absolutely knew what was going to go on. So Lashar actually got his going on. So I was waiting for his interview. He says, I was happy for Akira. I lost to Hikaru last time and told all the advice to him. So I don't know how much of that kind of like is retained, but I'm glad that Lashar was able to be a pivotal part of that. Like, I don't know if they were like kind of joking about it, but Torimeshi also, he had his interview saying, I was thinking about playing against Lily, but I couldn't really do it enough. Akira playing so intensely, I forgot how many games he got. That was actually like a weird transition for him. But yeah, I'd imagine like Torimeshi not getting his W. It makes a lot of sense, man. You're not going to get that same type of Lily experience, right?
Especially at that level, and especially I feel like when the Lily player is like has a structured game plan a lot more than you, and understands. It was clear Hibiki knew where to stand. He was walking in the range for like mid-range to get that crouch fierce drive rush right after it for a follow-up, or at least get a win stock. Like you could definitely tell that there was a clear distinction of a strategy, a lot more than Torimeshi could have, because Torimeshi couldn't run the Lily like that. So Akira playing so intensely, he forgot how many games that he got. Everyone else was cheering, but he could not react. So Akira still bringing up the Vanguard right there and bringing it back from the break, which looked like it was going to be a good game here for Hiroshima Team Itsuka. Ended up in the Speed Stars' favor. And again, it's good to see when he's in his bag, he is hard to take down. You know, when he has the space traps. And I do have to wonder, like, some of that knowledge from Lashar was like, oh, he likes to round star OD cruel face. Something that actually Jammers had mentioned in terms of how Hikaru likes to initiate. So there are some things I think Hikaru like kind of leans on to initiate, which I'm sure all players do. But that's like a pretty big one. That's why we saw that pretty sick like trade combo punch with the spiral arrow right after. And he tried to go for it again at whip, but the idea is there. So he definitely understood the tendencies, but had to put it in practice at the very end. Good stuff. You know, Akira says against Hikaru is a big problem for us. Has given a lot of advice from his teammates. I mean, Hikaru's been a big problem for everybody, right? I feel like he's one of the most dominant players out here in the league.
One of the coolest things that I did find impressive was Akira's recognition of which part of like the burnout sequence that Hikaru was going for. We don't get to see anybody kind of escape it too often, but once that cruel fate happened and he was able to crouching heavy punch it, that was insane. Most of the time we see these kind of burnout sequences and think to ourselves, all right, well, it's just a matter of time. We're going to see this drive impact happen, or we're going to see a lot of these frame kills happen, or not frame kills, sorry, frame traps happen, and someone's going to eventually press a button. But not Akira. He only ran into like a frame trap once, and it ended up being like a double roundhouse combo, which was insane. But the rebuttal with crouching heavy punch was chef's kiss, man. Like, shout out to him for finding that answer. I'm sure it was in conjunction with like the help that Lashar had given him. But still, that was such a big development in that matchup, in my opinion. That really shut it down. So I think that was a really great thing to highlight. Really well played from Akira and really well studied for that matchup. I loved it. I loved all of it.
He's a really big study. You know, despite the way that he plays in terms of being so fast, he's able to play fast because he understands the nuances of these matchups, and being able to get the momentum back in his hands is a very big thing. But he has to be able to be led there with certain instances, as you saw, as you mentioned, with the crouch fierce. You saw the round start trade and the spiral arrow right after. To get that, he needs to initiate. He's found more methods. I mean, for him, like, not panicking is a very important part. Tokido said for him to not get nervous. Told him, hey man, don't get nervous. That's the only way you're gonna lose. And I feel like in that case, most people would have panicked. They would have faltered and got chipped out continuously, even though there would have been no drive impact. But he held tight, even though he was on the back foot for a while. Was able to bring it back from the break. That takes quite a bit. So that ends out our day. Yogibo taking over Hiroshima Team Itsuka. A lot of ties that we had, but we end off the night with a 30-10. And the standings, as you mentioned, are pretty damn even. Here we go. 25, Crazy Raccoon over Faithful Gaming on the 20. VARREL getting 40, over CIG OSAKA. I misspoke. There's been a lot of developments overall, actually. Every variance of game you can definitely hope for. And Yogibo reject with 30-10 over Hiroshima Team Itsuka.
It's been a wild development for sure in regards to what's happening for Division F. We've had, at the start of it all, 3 teams tied neck and neck, right? It came down to like the big differences between the two, or between the 3. But 135 apiece being changed up significantly now in the second half, it's very fitting. They're issuing a new challenge amongst themselves. It's a new day. It's a new week to kind of play and get these points in. I will say, a lot of the teams delivered in ways where I didn't see it coming. One of them being Belc Favu Gaming getting the Big 20. Thought that was really, really impressive to start things off. Ryuguchi, he could have had it in the bag as well. It was very, very close. Seeing VARREL take points that they did, they were going in pretty much second to last with 85. Them getting a full-on blowout for their W against CAG Osaka, unprecedented. That is for sure. Then it was down to either one, Hiroshima Team Ikaza, Yogibo Reject. That one was really, really hard to call, right? But here are the current standings. Again, the top 3 remaining the top dogs. Let's talk about down below. Crazy Raccoon, a big jump up, 130. VARREL, also just as significant. Belc Favu Gaming, the light is still there. Absolutely still there. 20 points to their name. I'm very excited to see their development in the second half.
100%. I feel like they're grasping what they need to do, and it's not super late where they are completely out of the game. Even talking to production before, I was like, they got to get some points on the board. They can't be farmed for points continuously, and they're showcasing what they can do. The possibility is there. And I feel like overall for this entirety of this slate, no matter this division or the other division, you see these players get better about their strategies, their characters, their players. That's why I feel like you see a lot of these teams on this graph rise to the occasion or get close to without just a few games to their name, you know? Obviously, Belc, Fave Gaming, still at the bottom, hasn't risen just yet, but it could be happening next time we see them. VARREL getting that slight bump before and then back in 5th place position. The rise of CR could be happening as we slowly see them stay a little bit more stagnant. We see the more rise of these other players too as well. Now, next time we meet, Grenade Squad, Seoul, Detonation Focus Me, Shinobi's Gaming, and Nagoya MTV Oja, and Fukushima Ibushingen will be the next time, or next games that we get to have next time we meet on, it looks like the 22nd. So we're going to have a break. ECT, we've got the Singapore event as well, but we'll come back. Some action on the 22nd of October.
Man, we get that much of a break? Man, come on, guys.
Yeah,
I'm totally kidding. It's got to be for the players because they had to get themselves ready for back-to-back travel weeks. Very, very important weekend dates, as Seikola had alluded to. There's a lot going on in the calendar specifically for October, only to gear it back up in November too, with the big premiere happening in Japan. Obviously, we can see it right here on October 25th, just in time for spooky season. We get the continuation of Division F with Week 7 between CAG Osaka, Crazy Raccoon, Yogibo Reject versus VARREL, Hiroshima Team Ikaza versus Belc Favu Gaming. This is going to be a very, very big deal. I feel like more so for Division F than currently for Division S in regards to the point spread. But I feel like in totality, when you look at the differences between the two and how like the teams have been working out, it's not too far off in regards to who can actually take over where. But we'll talk about that in another time. As you can see here, this weekend, this coming weekend, is going to be East Coast Throwdown. Myself and Seikola, I think Seikola, I mean, the travel for him wouldn't be too far. But me, I just want to go just to go. So we'll figure that out. East Coast Throwdown's happening this weekend. Next weekend, the Singapore premiere, offline premiere, is going to be a pretty big deal. I don't know who's going to be going to that. I think it got announced already too. But also the first weekend of November, the Super Premiere Japan. You guys got to make sure you have your calendars marked for all of these big events.
100%. Hope you all can go out there. And if you're not going out to these events offline, just watch some online. What works is still going on. And we're going to have the East Coast one real soon here. I think it's like on the 25th, I believe, as we finalize more people for the CPTs and get their standings in for the Super Premieres, Super Regionals, I should say. You can actually see who's going to be qualifying real soon here. But right now, the Super Premiere, as we mentioned, Sorry for that right now. Hit the QR code and sign up, as any one of you, no matter where you are in the world, could join up and be the next Capcom Cup champion. Take your steps towards that 1 milli. Go do so and fight some of the strongest in land Japan, plus a lot more. I know a lot of players are going out there. I think the Birds are going out there. I know a ton of US players are going out there. Only one spot, so everyone hotly going out there for that hotly contested seat at the Capcom Cup Finals next year. So sign up. Also, be a good time to be getting some practice against these top level players. And offline, there's nothing that compares to offline. Really, there's nothing that compares in terms of practice, the energy. Go out there in person if you can.
Truly, again, there's only a couple more days, I feel like, for residents in Japan to make their registration. I know a lot of the US players have been kind of putting that out there right now on Twitter, but I do believe the deadline was last night for those that are international. But if you're in Japan and you happen to be coincidentally watching the English broadcast, you gotta get your registration in as soon as possible. Other than that, if you guys want to perhaps try your luck in the States at East Coast Throwdown, I don't even know if the registration is closed by now, but if it is, I apologize. If it's not, go sign up. In the meantime, a lot of the people that have been tuning into the events, the English broadcasts, a lot of the chat, I know a lot of you guys have been coming in from the East Coast, and we appreciate the hell out of you guys. We want to make sure to do it proper. East Coast Throwdown, this is going to be your time. This is going to be everybody throwing it down for the community to show how powerful the East Coast truly is for our very own offline premiere, and I'm very excited about it.
Singapore also next week, right after that. Sign up if you can. If you can't, well, just tune in or join up if you're in the area or would like to fly to Singapore. Here it's very beautiful. I'll be sitting at home watching and enjoying the action, as again another CPT needs a lot more action, a lot more people flying in from other areas, and being able to just see the collision of different play styles is always next level. And hey, speaking of different playstyles, I hear the Birds might be showing up for this one right here. A live match is starting from November 15th to 26th for Street Fighter League EU. Tune in for that one. I know the US one is starting. I know that one, that slide's going to come up. So I was actually going to throw that to you. What's going on with US? When's that going to be happening? Vicious. What's going on?
That's going to be happening in about 8 more days. October 16th is going to be the premiere, as you can see it, with these 6 teams, as well as their captains. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. I guarantee you. I'll put my namesake on it. It's going to be nothing but ruthless and vicious competition. The Bandits led by Men R&D, FlyQuest led by Punk, Shopify Rebellion led by Knuckle2, as well as Cloud9 led by JB. Of course, we got Fighting Spirit coming back with Oil King, then rounded out Red Rooster, a returning team led by Mono. It's going to be absolutely insane. If Tasty Steve were here, he'd be yelling at you right now. I dare you to find me a better Street Fighter. Guess what? You're going to find it right here over at Street Fighter League in general. Japan, US, and EU.
Got everything covered in the land of Street Fighter. Appreciate everybody that's been playing, watching, enjoying all the different events that we had online and offline. But I think that's it for the day. Till next week, meet on the 22nd, people. Stay safe, and we will see you in the streets and also at East Coast Throwdown. Peace.
この後は選手の音声入りの本日のハイライトをご覧いただいてお別れとさせていただきます。それでは期間は空きますが、ディビジョン S 第7節でまたお会いいたしましょう。それまでさよなら。さよなら。さあ、このディビジョン F の折り返しのポイント、後半戦になります。外足締め、パリを投げる。さあ、もう通射だけも受けれないか。ここで大ボロパーフェクト。
通った。全部通した。いや、嬉しい。まだした。
ここの精度は形抜群だが、中足ラッシュ本命卓。ベルクファブゲーミング、負けられない試合を勝ち続ける TS の剣が繋いでいきます。マジ
かよ。すごすぎです。内容がいいわ。いやー、全部通っては。てか打ち方が良かったな。いや、良かったし、ポイントが的確。マジか。いや、嬉しい。いや、これはでかいな。
ゲージが少なくキャンセルラッシュができない状態。逆にボンちゃんが前に来る。しのいでいる。 前か確認している。
おいおいさあナイス
よかった。
いや
任せるよって何？
モンちゃんにプレッシャーかけちゃうか。
何？
これ勝ったら4勝3敗で勝ち越しになります。
ドライブゲージは戻ってこないか。ただここの後一手が耐えれば。
おい手打ちじゃない。手打ちじゃない。手打ちかと思ったのに。手打ちじゃないんや。
勝ち越し。
勝ち越しのマサ。勝ち越しのマサ。
勝ち越し美味しい。嬉しい勝ち越し。
上から行くパリを構えていたジャストパリー。むしろこの水葉が相手のターンを無理やり奪った。果敢な攻め、水葉がバレる。
あお
すごい。
素晴らしい。
ナイス。
よく見ている旋風コンボ。陽子連剣 SA3。さあこの装填なんかによりバレルは一気に中堅戦での勝利2連勝。
行くよねこれ。行くよね。
これは行きましたね。
あ、行くよね。ナイス。ナイスナイス。ボケナイス。よかってくれた。
メガストリートファイター。孫の地上戦の連動完璧。
腹ペコ。
これが飢えていた孫。
オーケー。
ナイスナイス。これはすごい。よっしゃ。
すげえな。
よくあんなの
惜しかったぞ。
モンスすげえ。
天才でした。
なってますから。しゃあないしゃあない。
バックステップカウンターしてる。おお、しかもシャガチュールートからの SA1 も見えているか。いやー SA2 ルートチューブリッツからのいやー SA2 ルートチューブリッツからのキャノンになった。
よく頑張った。
いやレッシャーマジで、いや大丈夫、レッシャー全然うまかったから。
これがバーンとしている。大吉作上体育次はジャンプ上飛び
いいスイッチ。よっしゃナイス。超でかい。かっこよすぎる。
マジやる。
最高。マジ最高。
抜けた。踏める。一本あるぞ。ゲージはあるぞ。アキラ打ち上げてからのスピンドライブスマッシャーは光の秋に届いている。
いや
うわマジか。いや惜しかった。
いやごめん。
いやマジ超しゃあない。練習したもの全部出た。完璧です。いやこれ嬉しいね。これは嬉しい。
アキラさん、僕が信じてると言いましたね。僕だけですか？
いやいやみんな信じてました。
僕の対策どうですか、アキラさん？褒めてください。
レッシャーありがとう。レッシャーのおかげだよ全部。